Hey, what's up, everybody? How are you? Welcome to another live episode of the Outlaw Nation Show here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I'm excited to be getting it on with you all here in my world, in my life. It's been a hell
I can't hear you, John. I don't know if people can hear me, but I can't hear you. Oh, Jason is saying he can hear me, but he can't hear you.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
There you go.
All right. Jesus, I don't know what happened. All right. Well, let me drop you out. That's our Umberto. Thank you. Sorry about that, gang. It's like I said, it's been a nutty fucking day. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate you being here. Thank you, Soul. Thank you, everybody, for rolling up in. Aisha, Chris Taylor, thank you. Sorry about that. Like I said, it's been a nutty fucking Tuesday. I was running around doing all kinds of errands today. You know why? Because I'm a big fatty right now and I need to lose weight. So I went driving all around San Diego to these fitness stores, which I've never done before, to try to buy a rower. And I finally found a rower. I got myself a rower. It's one of those water rowers. So I'm going to try it out. They said it's good. We'll see if I can drop some pounds off this large frame of mine because it's just my agent said I need to lose 10 pounds. And I just don't like the way I've been feeling lately. And it's time for the Outlaw to put some muscles back on his body. It's been a few years since I had some muscles on this body, so it's time. But anyway, I'm excited tonight because one of my dearest friends, a guy when I hear his name, when I say his name, when someone says his name, my heart gets full because I've always been a massive fan of this guy, and he was one of the first people to welcome me into the sphere with kind words and good advice about what to do. And he's a fellow military man. He's a veteran of the wars here, of a war, not the wars, a war, and a man who has built his career out here, moving from one thing to another and succeeding in it, from a host to a writer now, to an assistant, not assistant, but a writer assistant, to a writer himself. Like, he's done all kinds of jobs, and it's incredible to have him be back on the Outlaw Nation show tonight. We'll introduce him in just a second, but I want to do real quick. I want to remind you all, are you watching WandaVision? Well, we just did our episode 3 review. It is up. The Geek Buddies and I welcoming Emma Fife. If you haven't watched it yet, it just crossed 8,000 views. I know some of you out there are like, wow, it's not 50,000 views. I get it, but we're still building this channel, and at 8,000, I'm really happy with that. So if you haven't watched our review of it, we do a massive deep dive into that episode. It is up now. The Top 10 dropped their new show this morning, the Top 10 films, Ron Howard films. We counted those down, Matt Nost and I. So if you haven't heard or watched it yet, it's up now for you to do both of those things. Tomorrow, a new Geek Buddies episode drops. Also, Jedi Way tomorrow night. I'll be dropping it probably Thursday morning. We're recording it tomorrow night. We're going to talk about what happened in Star Wars this week with the host and everything that happened with her tweets and the reactions to it, Christina. And we're going to also get into inclusivity and the positivity around Star Wars and how it has changed and mirrored how society has changed with their inclusivity as well. So focusing on the positive aspect of it, because that's what the show is all about. And Impolite Truths will be this Thursday. We have to move the time to 6 p.m. because out of nowhere, ESPN San Antonio has asked me to go in for like 15 minutes and talk to them about the Royal Rumble this weekend and offer my predictions. So pretty awesome thing to be asked out of the blue to do. So I'm looking forward to doing that here to push more of strong style, push more of everything that's going on there. So I'm excited to do that as well. And of course, Friday we'll have strong style, and Friday we'll have the mornings with the Outlaw, and then Saturday, if you guys didn't hear the announcement yesterday, starting Saturday, this Saturday live, the Ultimate Schmodown Show. I have brought the Ultimate Schmodown Show over to my channel. It will be the Schmodown channel, a Schmodown show rather, on the Outlaw Nation channel. I will not be on it. I mean, I may jump in and do an occasional thing, but it will be those people hosting it. It'll be Soul and Colin and John and Boggs all hosting it, produced by Sean. I will not be, curating the content or telling them their opinions. It's a very independent show. I just wanted to give it more attention by putting it on my channel. So look for all of that happening this week. And then yesterday we had Game Time with Winston A. Marshall and Jay Washington and Ben Goddard stopping by to talk about the AFC and NFC Championship games, give a Super Bowl preview, and talk about Conor McGregor getting knocked out. All of that was discussed as well. All right. Enough of the jibba jabba, enough of the preamble. Let's get into the meat of this show, and let's introduce one of the best dudes going today, one of the guys I've known for quite some time here. As I mentioned, one of the sweetest dudes I've ever known, and a guy who's always got a kind word for you if you treat him right. And if you're standing in line at a post office and you shoot your mouth off, he's not the guy you want to be in a line with, because he will put you in your place, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to the show, writer and host of Geek History Lesson, ladies and gentlemen, Jason Inman. How are you, Jason?
Hey, thank you for that kind intro, and also for the pre-show story of my going to the post office today. First off, before we get to that, yes, I want to say a couple things. One, John, yes, that is so awesome about San Antonio. I had no idea about that. Congratulations, man.
I got the email today. I was like blown away.
That's really cool, man. Two, Sean is awesome.
Yes.
And three, just do P90X. Don't spend the money on a rowing machine. Do P90X, man. Tony Horton's your man. Tony Horton would come on this show. I guarantee it. He would.
I bet he would. Him and Billy Banks, I bet they would come on the show. No, I picked it up. It's purchased. It's sitting in the garage. I got to fill it up with water tomorrow and try it out.
I've heard they're brutal. They're brutal. I've never done it myself.
That's why I got it. The guy was like, look, you can do the Nordic Trek. You can do this Echelon. You can do, there's a $2,000 one that's out there now called something to do with rowing, but it's essentially simulating you rowing in the actual water.
In a hurricane. No. This one will launch water at your face. Ducks will fly by.
Hold on. You get someone coming by you going, on your left. But yeah, all of it there. But yeah, I'm gonna try out the water. And see
a gun will come out, bullets will fire. You gotta dodge the bullets as you're rowing. If you don't lose weight while by using this rowing machine, you're dead.
You're dead. Exactly. That's the end result. That's how effective it is, for God's sakes. Yeah, Dom Gazzello says Concept 2 is the best. Yes, I've heard it, but it's so loud, Dom. I can't do it.
Is that a rowing machine as well?
Yeah, it is. It's what CrossFit uses. They use the Concept 2.
Oh, okay.
It is so loud, man. I'm just like, I don't need that. My girlfriend works from home. I'm going to be sitting in the garage in our house doing it. I don't want her to be annoyed by the sound. So the water is smooth. It does not make any sound. So I'm going to put my headphones on. I could put the computer on a table and do like I'm rowing in the water. Do programs.
Are you going to watch footage of moving through a river?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They've got workouts where you can do that. Oh, Dom says he can't hear it over his muscles. Oh, congratulations, Dom. Congratulations. Anyway, that is not what Jason Inman is on the show about, to talk about rowing machines or losing weight. Although, if he wanted to, we could. But we are here to talk about this. Talk about a number of things, Jason. But first, I mean, we got to touch base with you. How are you dealing with the world as it is right now? We are, and I ask this of every one of my guests now, because we are knee deep into this thing. The numbers seem to be rising on this coronavirus situation. They've supposedly lifted the ban, but you've been one of the lucky few, man, to keep working through this time and keep doing the things you're doing. I don't think we can reveal yet what you're working on. But
I will say I found out last week that it's probably going to be pretty soon.
Oh, nice.
It might be pretty soon. Finally, the show I've been working on for a year and a half now.
Wow. Yeah, because the last time you were on, you couldn't even hint at what it was, but you were working on it, but you're excited about the project. Now you're going to finally be able to talk about it.
I think so. I think some of the Paramount Plus stuff. Obviously, I'm working on for a CBS television show.
Yes.
I think some of the Paramount Plus stuff is helping that along.
And what's your official position on that show?
I'm the showrunner's assistant to that show.
Showrunner's assistant. Right? So, and you're responsible for it, and you're looking over scripts. You're looking at seeing, like, are you in note sessions, all of that jazz?
Yeah, basically, like, the easiest way to describe my job is just that I'm basically showrunner junior. So I'm like with the showrunner of the show, who is usually, most people would know as the head writer, but like in this position, the guy who I'm working for is his name's Craig Sweeney. He worked in Elementary. He also worked on my last show, The Code, and he liked me so much that he brought me along. He's a really nice guy. He's a really great writer. And so he is in script meetings. He is in production meetings. He is on set. And where he is, I am as well. And it is a foot in the door job. That's the whole reason why I took it. But also, it's the best job you can get because I want to be a showrunner. I want to create my own shows. And the great thing about that is that I basically know how to do it because I followed a showrunner around.
Yeah.
I see every step of the job so that when I finally get to do it, I already know how to do it.
Yeah. And this is not just a regular show. This is a pretty big deal of a show, which you can't reveal, but it's a pretty big deal of a show. So the fact that you are following him around and then learning from him in this kind of high level of a show could set you up, as you said, to be someone who can step into the showrunner position when it opens up. And whether it's a show you wrote or created, you'd still
it wouldn't be quite the jump to showrunner. That would be quite the idea is that like the next position for a writer that opens up, I would be able to hop into that.
No, as a staff writer.
As a staff writer, You got to earn your stripes, man. That's the thing. You got to earn your stripes like every. It's a story of my life.
Yeah. It's so true. Well, speaking of earning your stripes, man, you've got a new project that you're working on. You kind of blew the doors off the Kickstarter on this thing right off the bat. I was following it on Twitter. I mean, within 24 hours, I think you
11 hours
the goal, right?
11 hours, it made the goal. Just under, like, right as soon as we crossed the 11-hour mark, it made the goal.
Okay.
So this is Super Best Friend. It is my new 48-page superhero adventure comic on Kickstarter right now. You can find it at superbestfriendcomic.com. It's an easy URL. And this is the story of Mattie Moore, who is the best friend of the world's greatest superhero, Captain Terrific. And he live streams all of Captain Terrific's adventures onto his, I don't call it YouTube, but his live streaming channel. Right. All the, every hour he's world famous. All the other heroes in this world love him, love Mattie. But one day Mattie accidentally reveals the secret identity of Captain Terrific to the world on a live stream. And now he has to fix his best friend's secret identity. So it's the story of a sidekick. It's a sidekick becoming a superhero.
Okay. This sounds awesome. What motivated you to create this story, to write this story? Was there a inciting incident? Was there something you were reading maybe some comic run or something like that inspired you to come up with this idea? Or have you been thinking about it for quite some time?
Well, I've had this idea for quite a while. I actually came up with this idea when I was working for DC All Access.
Oh, wow.
And I just didn't quite know how to execute it because this is very much a story of the relationship between superhero fandom and superheroes, and that idea of how live streaming, when you're watching somebody on live stream, you really do feel like they're your friend, even if you've never met that person.
Yeah.
And that sometimes crosses some weird lines, and sometimes that crosses some inappropriate lines.
Yes.
And I thought that was such a fascinating idea in terms of the world of superheroes, because if superheroes did exist in our world, people would just be TikToking them every second of the day. And I think there would be certain YouTube channels dedicated to different superheroes and different villains. And you would have people we saw some of that crazy conspiracy theory stuff a couple weeks ago. There would be people that would have YouTube channels about the supervillains that would be like, they're right. Yeah. They're right. I don't care how many buildings they've blown up. They're right. And so this series is basically like a view of all of that, because again, when I was working at DC All Access, I was talking about superheroes all day. Like, it was literally like bleeding into me.
Yeah.
And it did get to a point at one point in the job where I'm like, what am I doing? I'm literally just talking about Superman's cape all day long. Does that really matter? And so this is through Mattie, I'm sort of like examining that issue because I do think that stuff does matter if you look at it from a certain point of view.
Right.
And that is what this story is that even though Mattie is all about fandom and he's all about celebrating these superheroes, he does have skills, he does have worth, he does have something to contribute to the world. And that is what he's going to learn over the course of this story.
Right. Well, I mean, we saw on The Boys this past season 2, for those of you who, I don't want to spoil too much, but just say like there was a character there who kind of initially used social media to introduce themselves to the group and to the world, that she was joining the group's storefront, Aya Cash's character. So did you watch that? And when you watched that, did that like change maybe some of the approach you had? Because obviously you've had this idea years ago.
Oh, you're talking about Stormfront and The Boys?
Yeah, in The Boys. Yeah.
Oh.
On Amazon Prime.
Oh, yeah. I watched The Boys, man. That's not even anywhere close to this book.
Right.
So Stormfront, cough. Get out of here. Not even close.
All right, fair enough.
Look, I'll also throw this out there. Stormfront is not the first superhero to ever use social media.
Good point.
You want to back on up to about 2006 and go read Invincible.
Are you talking about this book?
I am talking about that book. There is an Invincible story. There's one of the characters in Invincible that like is obsessed with like posting YouTube videos.
Yeah.
You know,
that's great. So there is a history of this kind of stuff. So what did you feel was going to make yours stand out? What's the unique approach that you bring to it that makes it its own thing in the social media superhero combo?
Well, you know, I always say this, that the unique thing is the thing that makes you think it's late.
I know.
It's late for both of us. Anyways, the thing that makes a story unique is what you bring to it.
Right.
So what makes this unique is that I basically did Mattie Moore's job for 3.5 years.
Wow.
And so Mattie is sort of like a more innocent, a more interesting version of this. And I really want to explore the connection between these mythical figures and fandom and the rights and the wrongs and everything like that. Like a lot of this is inspired, and I know we're going to get to this eventually, I remember when they revealed the first picture of Henry Cavill in the black suit for Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I remember seeing across Twitter, people were like, that's the real Superman. Yeah, that's the real Superman. And I was like, man, he's Superman whether he wears a black costume or whether he wears a red and blue costume. He's still Superman. Who cares? And I will say, like, there are beats in my story that are going to be like that, where characters are going to change their costume and their fandom is going to be like, you're not the real hero. How do we know you're the real hero? There's no proof. And I want to really examine that and look at that issue and look at this mob mentality thing. But the thing that is going to make it unique is that it is that modern sort of cynicism, that modern sort of fandom, that modern voyeur, filtered through zany, cosmic, Silver Age superhero stories.
Yeah.
You know,
what are the Silver Age comics that are heroes that influenced you in this? You just mentioned it right now. So what are the Silver Age heroes that influenced you as you were building and creating this comic book series?
You know, it's crazy. You know, it would be insane to say not Jimmy Olsen, because of course this is very much Jimmy Olsen.
Right.
You know, I love the Silver Age Adventures of Superman. They're zany. Everybody thinks that like Lionhead Superman is like stupid and Bughead Superman is crazy and stuff like that. But you know what? There's like an innocence there. There's like a fun there. And, you know, that's a little bit of what I was injecting into Super Best Friend, because I think some of that is missing from modern comics. Like a lot of modern comics are very dark and very like, it's about the twist or like who got stabbed this week. And, you know, and I like comic books to be. I read comic books for fantasy and out there. I don't read comic books for drug deals and knives and knife wounds. You know, I want to see Superman fighting some aliens. I don't want to see Superman fighting, Juan on outside the bodega. You know, that's not an interesting Superman story to me.
Right.
So that's some of the Silver Age stuff. I love that. I love Kirby, the Forever Peoples. I think is amazing. All the Fourth World stuff is amazing. Man, I could go on and on. I'm sorry. I'm going in circles.
I love. But is this? Let me ask you then, because I do want to circle back on the Silver Age stuff because I love to hear about that. You know, did you find that this as you were saying? Like I seeing all these dark comics, these gritty comics. Look, Invincible gets dark as well.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got these comics. Is this your way of to kind of like make some people remember why we fell in love with comics in the first place, the escapism of them, still having a message in the story, but also the escape and fun that comics can be instead of reflecting our life. You know, a lot of people say this, Jason, just to add on, people want to go back to when films were fun and had happy endings and were joyful, and they don't want to necessarily see all the drama and the grittiness and the death and all of that, because I get that in real life. Why would I want to go to a theater to escape into the same world I'm living in? So do you feel like the comic books the approach to this comic book series is kind of a way to push back on that a little bit and say, hey guys, this is all cool and all, but remember that we can have fun with it too?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I will say that like all those mediums always have that seriousness no matter what.
Yeah.
When Superman started out, he was literally a social crusader. Action Comics #7, Superman fights a slumlord. That's the entire issue. There's no villain. He fights a slumlord. Like he stops a slumlord from like raising the rent on people. That's literally the whole issue. So there's not. I'm not saying there's not a place, but especially for comic books started as a medium for kids.
Yeah.
And they star these mythical, larger than life. I mean, Superman has laser beam eyes.
Right.
You know, so to me, I'm like, in that medium, I think most of the stories should be larger than life. They should be like Star Wars. They should be things. Now, we can have these nice, smaller, grittier comic books like Saga and Paper Girls and things like that. Those are great reads too. Yeah. But when the two major publishers of comic books are publishing more dark, scary comic books, like Three Jokers, then they're publishing like, all ages friendly comic books. To me, I'm like, well, I think you're missing what the medium is for. It would be like if the Disney Channel, it would be like if all the Disney Channel cartoons were about MMA fighting. Yeah. You'd be like, that's kind of weird.
Right.
Why is Donald Duck punching Scrooge so brutally?
Or border issues. Yeah. Stuff like that. A little grittier and what have you. Yeah. That's a fair point, actually. That's absolutely a fair point. And you got this thing funded in like you said, 11 hours.
Yeah.
Did that really surprise you? It seemed like from how you tweeted that it surprised the hell out of you.
It did because it did because it was an original idea.
Right.
And it's my first it's the first superhero traditional comic book I've ever done. And it's funny, I've actually had this comic book done for I finished this comic book in 2020, actually.
Oh, wow.
I started working on it in 2018, and then I kind of like slowly did it with the artist. And I made it primarily for my Patreon. Yeah. Patreon.com/John. Hey.
Yeah, plug away, my man.
Yeah. And then eventually, because of 2020, I was like, you know what? I want to make this. I'm going to put it out there. So this is like the first act of Super Best Friend. And because it funded, and a lot of the campaign was designed to fund the creation of issue 2. So now issue 2 is definitely going to happen.
Okay.
And
that's great.
And the awesome thing is that this whole story would be 3 48-page comic books. So so this is Act 1, and now Act 2 is definitely going to happen. And I put it out there just to see if people were going to go for it. Dude, this is the one tip I would give about Kickstarter. It doesn't matter how successful you are. You're always nervous when you hit that launch button because you're kind of like, will anybody show up?
Right.
I imagine it's like launching a new show or launching a new podcast. You're always, it doesn't matter if you're like a master or anything. You're always like, are people gonna listen?
Every show I start here on this channel, same thing. I'm like, all right, Star Wars show, let's see what happens. Wrestling shows, the politics show, are they going to sync the channel? Are they going to like just completely unsubscribe? And quite the opposite happened with the politics show. So I was pretty surprised by that. So I get 1,000% where you're coming from. And let's look at the protagonist here. Mattie, I'm assuming Mattie is a young girl. So
no, young boy.
Young boy. Okay, cool. So then Jupiter Jet was a young girl. Mattie being a young boy. What did you learn from writing for Jupiter Jet that kind of influenced how you went about creating the storylines and the through lines for the character of Mattie, at least for the first part?
Oh, it's so interesting. I don't know if I learned much about Jupiter Jet for this, but I took a lot of the stuff that I've learned in the television writer's room to Super Best Friend.
Okay.
By like layering in and doing stuff like that. And I had this tweet this morning where I talked about, and I did this big long thread. So if you're interested, it's twitter.com/Jawman. And I talk about this thing I did for Super Best Friend, which is where you have a character, writing pro tip. Here you go. Huh? If you want a character or an audience to sort of connect with your character or to sort of be able to anticipate your movie a little bit, you should always have your main character state their need or state the thing that they don't want to do. Because when you do that, so like a need for your character is always your internal. It's the internal lesson your character needs to learn to get through the story. So when you do that, your audience automatically, if they're smart, even most of the time they sense it unconsciously, they will be like, oh, well, then they're probably going to do that before the end of the story. And then when your character finally does it, your audience, because they've been ahead of you, they'll cheer it because they're like, oh yeah, he mentioned that and now he's doing it. Good for him.
Right.
And that was something that like I learned in the television writer's room. And so there's like, and I do this whole thread where like in this story, Mattie, page 7 of this book, the book starts on Maddie's birthday. And Captain Terrific, because they're best friends, they've known each other for 5 years, Captain Terrific gives him a copy of The Wizard of Oz and says it's a book about a group of heroes who don't realize that they all have extraordinary abilities already inside them. They don't need to journey. They're already special. Wow. And Captain Terrific goes, that's just like you, Mattie. And Mattie immediately on page 7 goes, I'm not a hero. So that we're setting it up. So like later on, because I'm already told you, like it's from sidekick to hero. Like the journey of the story is that Mattie will become a hero. Right. So like right out the gate, Maddie's like, nope, I'm not special. I'm not a hero. You're a hero. And so it's the idea that this story is going to make him a hero, make him just as important as all the superheroes that he films.
Yeah, that's fascinating because, Jason, when you look at it and break it down, I mean, hero can mean anything. Hero you can replace that word with anything if you're telling yourself, hey, I can't do this, or I'm not going to be this, or I can't. That's not me in terms of like, oh, I won't achieve that success, or I won't blah, blah. But if you go on, if you actually say the other thing, you might be able to put it in motion in a more positive way. No, I can be a hero. I can do this. I can do this. There's possibilities. I imagine Mattie goes through this journey here, finding these moments where he has to be a hero and discovering that he does have that inside of him, and what he does with that as it grows and builds through his experiences when he's trying to save or trying to cover up the mistake he made by revealing his secret identity. I imagine.
Well, I'll give you a cool nugget. I'll give the Outlaw Nation an exclusive because this won't happen until issue 3 of Super Best Friend, which might not be till next year. Probably. I can only do 2 Kickstarters a year, guys. I can't do more than 2. So
write this time code down, Sean. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this will probably be next year, but I came up with this idea very early on that there was going to be a time where Mattie was going to be forced to have to fight either a group of villains or a group of other heroes. Wow. Now, when you think about somebody like Mattie, think about like he's like you, or he's like or like I used to be, or like any of these people, right? He's talking about superheroes all the time. He's bringing up articles, he's filming them, he's studying them, he's observing them. You could say that he's an expert on these people. Like I would say you're an expert on film. Sure. Or even an expert on sports, right?
Very kind.
So if these villains came to attack him, or these heroes came to attack him because maybe they think he's an enemy or whatever. I'm being loosey goosey because I'm not giving the whole goose away.
Right.
The expert would be the one that would know every one of their weaknesses.
Right.
He would be able to beat them because he
Batman.
studied them. Yes.
Right. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So there's a little super best friend. When you see it, you'll know it.
You know when you see the scene in it.
Yep. You'll know it. There you go. Yeah.
Absolutely. When you were telling me more about the character, what can you reveal about the characters and like their motivations, their upbringings, their design? Can we talk about the design team behind this? Let's
sure. Sure. So we should mention the great artist is George Kemadize. He's this amazing artist. He's worked on. He did this very award-winning comicsology series called The Black Ghost. It was a comicsology original.
Okay.
New York Times picked it as like one of the best comics. I picked George because I've been a fan for George for a long time, and he one day on Twitter said, "Hey, I don't have any work right now." And I literally dropped into his DMs and was like, "I got this idea called Super Best Friend. How you want to do it?" And he was like, "Sounds great." So I would say to any freelancers in the world, if you're on Twitter and you have an easy contact info, say you're available for work. You never know. You might get hired. So George is the main series artist. He designed everything. It's really cool. He drew Mattie right out the gate, like the original image, and we didn't change it from there. Wow. He nailed it. Taylor Esposito is my letterer. And we have variant covers by Travis Mercer, who's drawn on Red Hood and the Outlaws for DC Comics.
Wow.
And we have variant cover by Comiker Girl, who did Teen Titans Go for DC Comics. And right now we're building to our next stretch goal, which is the second stretch goal, is a new variant cover that will be, because I'm very inspired by the 90s, John.
Yes.
It's going to be a foil variant cover.
Okay.
And it's done by Brian Lopez, who's a great artist, who did one of the prints I had for Jupiter Jet as well. So they're like a dream team, man. And it's, you want to talk about like a main character, like Captain Terrific, who is Maddie's best friend, is a superhero that I invented in college for a comedic one act. And he's like always just been my Superman analog. And I broke him out a couple of times. I did a couple short stories with him with Ashley Victoria Robbins. We co-wrote a story. We wrote a story called Terrific, and we wrote a story called Thief that starred Captain Terrific. But it wasn't until I put him into this story that he sort of became a real character beyond a Superman analog.
Okay.
He is from Bartlesville, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And he is very much about... He's not just about stopping crime. He's about helping people. Okay. He like 100% values innocent life over anything, everything. And he will do anything he can to stop that. He will stop any fight. He will not fight you. Again, like that's another thing about like modernizing superheroes, because if all superheroes do is stop crime, then they are literally just enforcers for the 1% and corporations. That's all they are. Which is not really the original spirit of superheroes. Superheroes are about helping the people.
Right.
You know, so Captain Terrific is the guy that, like, if a flood comes through a town and decimates the town, Captain Terrific rebuilds the town. Doesn't matter how long it takes him, he rebuilds it. You know, he is that type of person. Like, he makes sure that nobody goes hungry. He does all these things. So yes, and there's Captain Terrific right there on the left with his costume as well. And so he became that type of character. Because if Mattie was such a fan of this guy and he's the world's greatest superhero, I really wanted to like up his ability and to really make people love him. And Captain Terrific's big flaw is that he's so worried about innocent life that he won't let anybody help him at all. And he's on a Justice League. He's on a Justice League, but he'll like fly in, finish the battle before the Justice League shows up, and he's like, I got it, guys, I got it. And they're like, we were on the way. What were you doing?
So, what is the psychology of him? Is he insecure? Is he a control freak? Like, why?
He's a control freak.
Okay.
Yeah, right. He is such a control freak. He's so worried. Because you think about it, like if you were like Superman, right? Yeah. And everything you did, like you touch something, you completely shatter it, you destroy it. So you would live your life like you're in a glass cage, like a glass house. You would just be like, all right, cool. All right. So if I can move this fast, I better make sure nobody's around me.
Right.
And if I'm going to do XYZ, I better make sure I do it by myself, because if anybody's near me, I could hurt them.
Right.
So that's where this all comes from. And of course, then here comes the interesting thing about the story, because the story is all about he's going to have to work with Mattie.
Right.
He's going to have to let that go.
So he's got to confront his own issues while Mattie confronts his issues. Yep. And I would imagine this brings them closer together, even though it might come close to fracturing them as well.
They will fracture. They will fracture and then come back together. And by the end of the story, they will be stronger than ever. I will say nobody in a million years will predict the last page of this story, the issue 3. I will say it is, it will have a reference to whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow, the very famous Alan Moore story. There is a very specific reference of like where we're going with this.
Right.
But it is sort of about the end of the story of Super Best Friend. When we get to issue 3, is all about, you know, Maddie's ultimate destiny and Terrific's ultimate destiny. And both of those destinies may not involve anything to do with superheroes.
Oh, wow.
You know,
so
yeah,
he might. So I don't want to reveal anything, but it sounds like you're saying he might become a hero, but not in the way you think.
Exactly.
Is that
yes.
right?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. That's what we're pushing. And a lot of the track is laid in the first 48 pages that we have on Kickstarter right now.
Right.
Like you're going to get to meet the new superhero team called the Assembly. You get to meet Citizen Tyranny, who is Captain Terrific's big villain. He's the one that reveals the secret identity. There's a lot of fun stuff in here. A lot of people, I've heard a lot of people online have called it the Inman verse. I've already seen some people have drawn fan art of this already. They've drawn fan art of some of these characters, which is great.
Really?
And the book's not even out yet. Like
that's incredible, man.
And the interesting thing is that when I was writing Super Best Friend will be the story of Mattie and Captain Terrific. Right. When we get to the end of this, I don't know if I'm going to tell any more stories with the two of them, because I think I'm like, that's it. Unless I come up with something else. But I will say that all the other characters that are introduced, all of them.
Yeah.
I've come up, they all have a paragraph. I have a Google Doc of where they could all spin out. And each character does have their own thing to where they could all become their own superhero story. So if people keep this going, like if like the Kickstarters keep going, like the Super Best Friend universe could just I could write this for the next 20 years.
Wow.
And I'd be happy with that too.
I'm sure you would be. Who would be if you're a comic book creator to be working on something you created? This is the villain. Am I right on that?
That is Citizen Tyranny. Yes.
Okay.
And then to his left is Amarok. And then to his right is my favorite character. It's an Irish legend. That is Jenny Greenteeth, who always speaks in third person.
About herself.
Yes, she's always like Jenny Greenteeth is dripping mad.
Kind of like The Rock, speaking in third person all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. What inspired the design that we see there for this character here? Because I mean, obviously, you can't help but notice it seems like these are two. One's a black hero, one's a black villain. Am I wrong on that?
Citizen Tyranny. Captain Terrific is black. Citizen Tyranny is Indian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, no, I wanted to do that because, you know, as a white man, and you know, I do think representation is important, and you know, if I've always heard the story that like if you write a character, I've been told this by several professional writers, if you write a character and you don't have any ideas, like you're like, well, I don't know, they could be any race,
right?
Then don't make it white. Make it literally any other race. Now, also at the same time, when you do that, you got to back it up with research, and you got to talk to people, which I do every time. I did have a sensitivity reader for this,
good.
And went through it. And this is not what a story that would punch any sensitivity buttons at any point.
Right. But
so
just in case,
just in case, I did have that. Yes, there is a moment in this book that is very much inspired by some of the Black Lives Matter and George Floyd and Breonna Taylor protests that happened last year. So like you could tell like I was working on this at that time last year, but I hope when people hit that moment, it's very heartfelt. It's not serious. It's very heartfelt and sort of an inspiring kind of a way that Superman should have been,
right?
Or Superman should be.
Organic within the flow of the story. And also keeping with the atmosphere of the overall story.
Yes. Yeah. The tone of this is always, I would say if you ever saw an episode of the Superman, the animated series in the 90s, that is the tone of this book whole way through. It will never get more serious than that. But if you remember that series, it always had some really good heartfelt moments. Like there's a great episode in there called The Late Mr. Kent. It's about Clark Kent dying. And the whole episode is about Clark realizing the people in Metropolis would actually miss him, and they would miss Clark Kent, not Superman.
Right.
And so he kind of like dawns him, and he's like, "Oh wow, I thought people only gave a damn about Superman. They actually miss Clark Kent. Wow!" And then when he pops up at the end, they all razz him, and they're like, "We knew you weren't dead."
I love that. Well, I got to bring on my producer real quick,
Please.
Jason.
You've been letting me chat a storm, so
I love it.
Bring me Awesome Sean in.
Oh, I can talk to you for
we
hours.
Can take if you want to take questions, talk about anything else. Let's go.
We'll jump into that as well, but I want Sean to come on. Sean, how are you, man? Good to see you. You've met Jason Inman before, haven't you?
Yeah, since when he was on last time. Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
We flipped that. I'm not that important.
How do you think?
So Outlaw Nation, I just want to let everybody know, if you haven't already, please hit the like button, and if you're watching us post, also hit the like button and leave a comment. It does help with the algorithm, so we want John to get as much exposure as he possibly can, as well as Jason as well. This comic book sounds amazing, by the way, Jason.
Thank you, dude.
Awesome.
It really, really does. So if you're a $10 above patron, the link is already in the Discord to come in live. So John will be bringing those people in first. After a while, the link will also be put in the live chat, so people who are not patrons, and if you're not patron, why? So that you guys can come in and ask John and Jason any questions. So when you click on the link, it will bring you backstage to StreamYards. It will ask you to verify your headphones and microphone. Please try to at least wear headphones, because otherwise you can get an echo and it can be a little bit disturbing to hear. And then it will bring you into backstage where John will be able to see you, and then he can bring you in at any time. So please try to have at least one question ready so we can try to get through as many people as we possibly can.
Right, absolutely. I mean, don't have 10 questions. You can have one or two, because we want to respect the fact that there might be people in line who want to come in and ask questions of Jason Inman, ask questions of us together, and everything's on the table for the most part. Anything that we don't want to answer or Jason doesn't feel comfortable.
No more questions about rowing machines.
Yeah, absolutely. No more goddamn questions until I try this fucking thing out. No questions about rowing.
You need to film that. That needs to be an Instagram story tomorrow. I want to see the first row.
I haven't worked out in 2.5 years, Jason. It's crazy. I'm so scared. I'll go 5 minutes and be done.
Do some Rocky music.
Are you going to wear a life preserver? You should.
I should, for God's sake.
And then we could tease you like in Back to the Future. Look, the dork thinks he's going to drown. He's wearing a life preserver.
I used to wear vests more often, and people made fun of me at Collider whenever I'd walk in. Hey, would you just jump ship or something? What are you doing?
I remember that. That was a Marty McFly, like a life preserver vest.
I like wearing vests. I think I look good in them. God damn it! So I wear them. You know?
Can I ask Jason a question?
Yes, please.
So Jason, I don't know if you heard about the rumors of the Batman the Animated Series coming back. I'm just curious what your thought process of that series potentially coming back, and also if it does, what art style or animation style do you think they should stick to? The original from the first couple of seasons, or what they eventually reverted to?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
This has been a debate, Jason. This has been a debate.
Here's the thing. I want to couch this first. One. I actually talked to Mark Bernardin about this.
Whoa!
I literally emailed him about this, and I said, "You need to tell me." He said the same thing that he said online. It was basically like that. He was like, "Look, it was only a rumor, and then it just blew up." So, like, this is everybody reporting an unconfirmed rumor that Mark Bernardin found somewhere.
Right.
He knows nothing. Nothing is confirmed. So I think they should bring back Batman Beyond before they bring back Batman the Animated Series.
I don't disagree.
I think that series got shunted away. And then, you know, I don't know if they animate shows like they did, because they did that animation on black paper.
Yeah.
And then they changed it because they said that that was like too hard or too expensive. Now, maybe that's not an issue anymore with computer animation, like computer 2D animation. So I don't know, man. I'm going to go with the secondary style because that's what Superman the Animated Series is animated in.
Yeah.
And that's what Justice League is animated in. And Justice League
Yeah.
is the best of those animated cartoons.
Well, I think they originally moved it that way to match what Superman was doing. It's
Yeah,
just
I
because
think
they
so.
had that
Yeah.
crossover, so it would look kind of weird if Batman looks one way and Superman looks a different
Yeah.
way, and they had that Batman and Superman.
The black,
team
I mean,
up,
the black looks amazing. To be honest with you, I would be happy if they brought any of them back. I kind of think Batman Beyond is the one that screams the most to bring back.
Yeah.
But I get that Batman is like the big moneymaker.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't think anybody would have. I mean, Bernard certainly has credibility, and people listen to what Bernard has to say. But I think having Kevin Smith say, "I've been hearing that rumor for a year," that gave it a little more credibility and made people go, "Oh, wait a minute," because Kevin has his, I mean, he was the one along with Zack Snyder talking about that Justice League being a real thing. That his cut was a real thing.
To be honest with you, dude,
It's credibility.
it would not surprise me if every single year Warner Brothers executives call up the phone. They're like, boop, 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 boop. Hey, Bruce Timm. Yeah? You want to remake Batman the Animated Series? Sure. Okay, send us a proposal. Great. Hit send on the email, and it sits in their inbox for a year. And then a year later, boop, 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 boop. Hey, Bruce Timm, you want to make Batman the Animated Series? I sent you the email. You want me to send it again? Could you please? Okay. And then another year passes. That's by the way, that is insider knowledge into how most studios out in Hollywood work.
Yeah. I look my emails. All right, thanks, Sean. I appreciate it. Any other questions?
Thank you, Sean.
So. No, that was great.
Wait,
Jason.
Sean. Which side of the debate do you lean on?
yeah.
What animated style do you want?
I got to stick with the original. I understand why they moved it to kind of match it, but there was something about, like you're describing, how they drew it on black paper that it was never done before.
Yeah.
And that look is just so iconic.
It looks good.
That it would be amazing to see it brought back again, or something similar to it. Doesn't have to be exactly the same,
Sure.
but as long as like you get all the actors and Bruce Timm back, would I really care that much? No, but I would prefer the original style.
Sure,
but
That's fair.
I'm gonna watch it anyway.
Right.
Yeah, and they won no matter what with that.
Yeah, exactly.
It caused an internal civil war in the Geek Buddies. Matt Kalinowski versus Michael Vogel over this.
Oh, really?
Vogel likes them both. He doesn't care about either style. Thinks they both.
I don't care either
have
way
positive-
either.
Yeah. And Kalinowski's like, no, that other style is not as good. And they were doing things with farm. They were having Superman go to a farm. Like, who cares? So it was a big deal. Thanks, Sean. I appreciate it. I know you got to go off to do another show. So thank you very much for popping in.
All right, thanks. Bye, Jason. Thank you, and thank you for calling me awesome.
Yeah, no worries, man. You are awesome.
That's a positive. All right, let's answer some of these Streamlabs and Super Chats. And please, ladies and gentlemen, send in some Streamlabs here. I pinned it to the top of the chat. Send in some comments, questions. Maybe Jason's got a story he can tease if we hit a certain goal. Organically, maybe a story he hasn't told yet. Could be fun to maybe tell.
Is there
you guys.
a theme? You got to get
anything you want to talk about that, like you maybe haven't revealed, or maybe a run-in with a celebrity you haven't
I gotta
talked
think about something here. I got to think about something.
Come up with something. Maybe we can make it a $200 goal. Last week, it was revealing when Michael Vogel came out as homosexual to me in London. We were living together. That whole story ended up getting people to donate $200 to hear the story. So if you got a story to tell, Jason, I would love.
I got to think about this
stuff in, but donate. So,
okay.
Well, as you think about it,
yeah. Let me think about it.
All right.
I got something.
Okay. Frank Contreras says, I saw Jason's tweet about Batman Soul of the Dragon. How badass was that movie? If you love DC, Batman 1970s, and martial arts, it's a must watch. Is this on HBO Max right now?
I don't think so. It's on Blu-ray and digital. It's basically where they redesigned Richard Dragon as Bruce Lee.
Oh, wow.
And then they have Bronze Tiger, Lady Shiva, and Batman in like a 70s movie. It is such a It scratches the Bond itch so well. It has like Bond-like music. It's a kung fu movie. There is a Bond villain. I loved it. I actually think it might be the best DC animated film.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
of
strong.
All of them. Better than Under the Red Hood, better than Dark Knight Returns. It's just so much fun and it's solid.
Wow. See, now I'm excited. What was your feeling about Batman Ninja? Yes or no?
No. I wanted to. I loved the designs, but no.
Yeah.
I could tell the story of. I have two stories, and I'll let the audience decide. They're both very short, but they are interesting. I could tell the story of when I met Peter Capaldi, the 12th Doctor.
Oh, yes.
Or I could tell the story of my encounter with Robert Kirkman. They're both funny.
Yeah, Robert Kirkman, who is of course
creator of The Walking Dead.
Creator of The Walking Dead,
and Invincible.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, there you go.
Is that enough? Is that enough? If I got some more, if you don't think that's enough,
it might be. It depends on how people donate. Start to donate, ladies and gentlemen, on the Streamlabs. Do you want to hear the story of of him meeting Peter Capaldi, or do you want to hear the story of him meeting Robert Kirkman and hear that?
I'll tell both. I'll tell you what. If we hit the goal, I'll tell both.
Okay, $200. Hit $200 in donations. He'll tell that story. Both stories. There you go.
Yep.
All right, let's see here what we got in the Streamlabs so far. Let's see. Jay Scott if Rio says the Harley Quinn animated series might be the best thing on HBO Max. Kaylee Cuoco really owns the role. What other characters could benefit from an adult animated comedy series? I'd like The Mask that inspired the Jim Carrey film, or maybe even West Coast Avengers in this told this way.
I know they were working on this and then it fell apart. I can't believe they haven't done this for Deadpool.
Yeah, the Donald Glover.
The Donald Glover series, yeah.
Yeah.
I think another character that would work for that would be Booster Gold.
Oh, absolutely.
If you let Booster Gold, if you did Booster Gold and Blue Beetle adult, like Justice League International adult, like Harley Quinn, I think it would murder.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I dangerously suggest a Guy Gardner R-rated animated series.
That'd be fun.
It would be a blast, but you'd be walking that politically correct line like crazy.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would.
Interesting to see if they could pull it off as a challenge for sure. Hell, just do the whole Justice League International. Just do that whole series. I love that series.
Yeah, I think just go. Yeah, and you now people know who Max Lord is, so it works.
Yeah, it could totally work. All right,
life is good, but it could be better. I love that meme.
Thanks, Jay Scotty, for that. Let's see. Dawn of the Deal, DYL. Hey guys, this is my first show live. Hey, thanks for coming aboard. I usually listen to the podcast. Let's get sweaty about comics. What are your favorite comic book runs? Marvel, DC, Independent. You guys are the best. Oh, thanks, Don. Jason, what are your favorite comic runs? Marvel, DC, Independent. What do you got?
Okay. For DC, it's the Green Lantern number 51 and on. It's Ron Mars. It's the creation of Kyle Rayner.
Ooh,
it's
nice.
Like one of my all-time greats. The other one is the first Nightwing solo series by Chuck Dixon. I think is completely solid.
Okay.
Let's see. For Marvel, I think you cannot. It's hard to beat Mark Waid's Daredevil run, which is really solid.
Okay.
And then for Independent, I like Brian K. Vaughan's series Ex Machina. That was before Saga. It's about a superhero who becomes the mayor of New York. And in his universe, he stopped the second plane, so only one of the Twin Towers went down.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's how he became mayor of New York, because he was the most famous hero. Everybody's like, "Oh my god."
That's intense, dude.
Yeah.
That's intense.
That is that you want to talk about a comic book or a book that should be made into a television show, it's Ex Machina.
Okay. I love that idea. I mean, the title thing might be an issue, but because of that film that came out.
Yeah, they'd probably have to change it. Yeah,
try it. Why not? I mean, for me, I echo the Daredevil, but for me, the Brian Michael Bendis run, I really enjoyed his Daredevil. I remember just buying a stack of those at Comic-Con and just ripping through them because I had no idea he'd done Daredevil at the time, and I just ripped through them and loved them to pieces. I gotta try the Mark Waid run now that you give it such a glowing review for sure. As far as DC, I mean, what do you want from me? Watchmen, what do you want from me? Dark Knight Returns. These are the runs. As I said, the Justice League International, I have all of them because that was my favorite. I mean, a sarcastic, funny Justice League, Rocket Red, Fire and Ice, a little Oberon, Maxwell Lord, like you said, so many people involved in it that usually didn't get a lot of spotlight. And the fact that they were brought in, and it was like kind of almost their version, I guess, of Guardians of the Galaxy, like just this weird off group with Batman at the center, having to deal with everyone's, kind of not taking things seriously. So I loved it. 2 pieces. That's a run that I would definitely suggest for people.
I have that omnibus.
Do you really?
Yeah, man. Ooh. It was like one of the last things I got out the door at DC Comics before I left.
Smart, very
smart.
Yeah.
Well, they would always have a table. One of the best things about that gig is they would have a table with all the new trades coming out, it was basically like, take what you want until it's gone. And like if you knew the day, and some days I would come in at the right time, some days I wouldn't, and I just happened to be there where that stack of omnibus were there, and I was like, sweep.
Yeah, Tiffany used to bring me bags of stuff when I was at far away, because she would go, I just got all these for free if you want some. I was like, hell yeah, just go and read all this. Oh, also Mr. Miracle, the Mr. Miracle run, the most recent
Tom King.
one. Yeah, the Tom King one. That
and Mitch Gerrard's,
excellent run.
It's really good.
Let's see here. All right, David Skelton said, just wanted to say hello to Jason. Rocha. All right, there you go, David Skelton saying hi to you.
David Skelton is a good patron of mine.
Oh, that's good.
So okay.
Thank you for stopping.
And also, he backed Super Best Friend. I just sent him a thank you message.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Chris Taylor says, Lois and Superman, will it be good, or Lois and Clark bad? Yeah, they just released the trailer a few days ago, Jason. Feelings, thoughts? Are you? Do you like this idea? Do you like them? Did you get a chance to watch the trailer?
I will say.
Oh, here he goes.
I got to read some scripts.
Ooh,
for that show.
Nice.
And I liked them. So I thought the trailer looked great. I like the new design of the suit. But I got to read some scripts and I thought they were good.
See, now this excites me. Have you watched the new Batwoman yet? With
no, I haven't had a chance.
Okay.
Is it good? Have you seen it?
I saw the first episode. I like the first episode. I'm waiting to see.
Is she good?
Episode. Yeah, she's good.
Great.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to compare, but yes, she's good.
Yeah.
That's all. I'm gonna leave it at there. Peggy B-Ball said, Jason, I know you did The West Wing, The Next Generation. Better secretary, Dolores Landingham or Deborah Fitterer? Is that how you say it? Or Fitterer?
It's Fitterer. Because Fitterer is Lily Tomlin.
Right.
Yeah. And Mrs. Landingham is a great actress who I cannot remember her name. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's Mrs. Landingham. She's only in 2 seasons, but like the episode where, I mean, spoilers for a 20-year-old show, she dies.
Yeah.
Is just, it's probably the best episode of The West Wing.
That monologue in the church.
Yeah, 2 cathedrals. That's the name of it. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 cathedrals.
Yeah, where he tells God to you're terrible because you let her die.
Oh my God! Top 10 greatest monologues ever delivered on television in any show ever. Just phenomenal. I'll go back sometimes and watch.
What a great question! I love it. Bring me more West Wing questions.
Yeah.
By the way, do I need to up the stakes of the story, or is Peter Capaldi and Robert Kirkman not strong enough?
You might have to. We're only at. Let me see. Let me refresh it real quick. We're only at $31. Come on, people!
All right,
$31.
Let me put it out to your listeners right now.
Okay, all right.
I have a hard time narrowing down. So give me a topic. Like, what is the topic that if you guys can narrow in on a topic, I guarantee you I can give you a story that is worth $200.
Interesting. Okay.
Put them in the comments right now, and I can see them as well.
Yeah, if Jason sees one that he really likes,
I'm telling you, the Peter Capaldi stories, it'll just going to make your heart grow 2 sizes bigger.
Oh, man. I just found out the other night that HBO Max has all the Doctor Who's.
They do.
On.
Yeah.
I have BritBox, so I have all the old Doctor Who seasons, which is great. I will randomly watch a Tom Baker episode just for shits and giggles. It's completely out of order, but I don't care. So it's nice to have the option of both, for sure. Okay, let me see. Move on to the next one.
Juicy and scandalous Asian Kane.
Aisha Kenya says, Jason, I love the room. Which figure in the background is your favorite?
I wish I could. Maybe I can reach it. Here, I'll pull it off. Hold on. Let's see. I have an extender. Let's see. Can I get it? Can I get it? I can. All right.
Looks like.
This is my favorite figure in the entire room because I can't believe they made it. And this is I got when I worked at DC. This is Lois from Superman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
And I love it because she's not only is she in the Silver Age purple, but like I just can't believe they actually made a Lois Lane action figure because Lois Lane is just as important to the Superman mythos as Superman.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
1,000,000%. I would argue without it, he's a damn good superhero, but he doesn't have that thing, that extra oomph.
I was livid when they did Action Comics 1000 and they did all these variant covers, and Lois is only on one of them. It was her anniversary too. It was her 1000th issue too, and like nobody cared. And the only artist that put her on there was, this is why he's the greatest Superman creator of all time, Dan Jurgens. Dan Jurgens' variant cover, he put Lois on there.
He understood. He absolutely understood. That's for sure. All right. Yeah, Smithy donated. He said, yo, Outlaw and Inman, here's some Skrilla to hear some Doctor Who stories.
Okay.
I met the Doctor in real life. He was wearing a black cowboy hat and kept screaming, which way to Bespin, my good sir? Yeah, okay. All right. Rocha, watch this video. All right, I can't put it on the screen, but I guess it says it's unavailable there, Smithy. So did you take it down? It says the video is unavailable. So, all right. Red Panda says, can you tell the post office story? Outlaw, my daughter Lillian says, outlaw all the belts, all the records. Thank you, Lillian. Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Here, okay, I'll put out another offer for the $200 story, and if we get the $200, I'll tell all three stories. I'll bonus it up.
I like it.
I will tell you who was the nicest person in all of the Arrowverse that I met. And now I will tell you, I interviewed the cast of Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, Black Lightning, Flash. Batwoman wasn't around when I was working at DC. But I will tell you who was the nicest person in real life.
Okay. If we get to 500, he'll tell you who the meanest person was.
I'll give you code names.
There you go.
The post office story was, so I was waiting to pick up some mail.
Oh, yeah, today. The post office.
Yeah, today, literally like an hour before the show. And this guy, we were all in a long line, because, post service and COVID and being safe and socially distanced and stuff like that.
Right.
And this one guy just refused to wait in line. And he was screaming and yelling at the employees, and a bunch of us, like including me, were just like, "Hey, they're just doing their job, man. They're going as fast as they can. Like, chill the fuck, chill out." Yep. And he was screaming about how cold it was because the line went out the door of the post office, and it is kind of cold in LA today. And he was yelling about it, and he's wearing a Killer Instinct T-shirt. Why Killer Instinct? A Nintendo 64 game. And he was wearing shorts, and he was complaining about how cold it was, and we were like, "Wear a jacket."
Yeah.
And he just started screaming at me. And I told Rocha this before. I said, like, "Oh, you must need your diaper change." And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Because the shit's spewing out of your mouth now." And he didn't like that. But I told him to, and he wanted to front so bad. But I have no patience for any idiots that won't follow the rules and that are so entitled.
Yeah. I respect you. I'm in the same camp. You know that. We both.
That's the post office story. Not that interesting, but
I like it. I think it's good when you put someone in their place. I'm a fan of it, to be honest with you. So we're at right now still about $85. So please, you got three stores. You can get.
I don't know how much more I can sweeten this pot, people.
Yeah, I know. Come on, people. Let's start donating. You see the Streamlabs address. It is pinned to this chat. You see it up there, or you see it above Jason's head right there. Streamlabs.com/John Rocha says, send in the donations for God's sakes. But in the meantime, we'll bring people in live to ask you some questions. Jason, some of the Outlaw Nation patrons first. First on, let's bring on Brennan. What's up, Brennan? How are you, man?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, man.
Good. What's up, man?
Hi, Jason.
Hello,
Good to
sir.
meet you.
I think we met last time.
Actually, yeah. But how are you? Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, man.
So, I was thinking that the Batman the Animated Series is based on the aesthetic of the film. But I was thinking, for me personally, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this. I like the animated series better because it consistently keeps that 40s Art Deco style. The 1989 movie, to me, is best when it keeps that 40s style. When it tries to be too 80s, it loses its luster. What do you think about that?
Well, that's an advantage. I know that was a goal of Bruce Timm's, that he wanted to make it very much like the 1940s and very much Art Deco because he was inspired by the Fleischer Superman cartoons, which are awesome if you've never seen them, 1940 ones. Yeah, and I will say this, I think his choice was right because it has made Batman the Animated Series very timeless, but just like what you talk about, like Batman 89 feels very 80s, but I would say the point,
the Prince music.
Yeah, the Prince music very much, you know.
Yes,
but that's an advantage that you have in animation over live action, right? Like
true.
Right.
In live action, the actor's hair and their clothing is always going to be like what is popular at the time, even if it's
true.
Yeah, like I remember we watched one of my favorite shows of last year was Perry Mason.
Yeah. That was a damn good show.
Great.
Oh.
And Perry, there were some hairstyles in Perry Mason that were very 2019.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
And now that you mention it, I just watched Batman Mask of the Phantasm for the first time.
Wow.
That's a great Batman movie.
Wonderful.
Jason Inman, a long time ago, when he was a guest on the Cinephiles when we did The Dark Knight, Jason Inman said Batman Mask of the Phantasm is his favorite Batman film.
I remember.
Yep.
But now, is it different with Soul of the Dragon? Are you amending that statement?
No. Okay. So when I made that comment, when I say DC animated films, for me, I think of the ones that they do direct to DVD.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, Mask of the Phantasm is not included in that because they released it theatrically.
Yeah,
It's untouchable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I respect.
No, Mask of the Phantasm is better than Soul of the Dragon. I'm sorry. But Soul of the Dragon's cooler.
I love that I have two things now to jump into out of this conversation with Jason: the Mark Waid Daredevil and this.
Soul, man, you're gonna eat Soul of the Dragon up. I'm telling you. You really are.
Martial. That's what I grew up on.
Yeah, it's really. I did when I put in that Blu-ray because look. I'm still on Warner Brothers list. Don't tell anybody. They still send me Blu-rays every once in a while. I think they forget that I don't work for them. It's whatever. I'm not going to tell.
No harm, no foul.
Hey. When I put in that Blu-ray, I was like, within 5 minutes, like I was watching this with my wife Ashley, and we looked at each other and we're like, "Are you liking this as much as I am?" And we're like, "Yeah." And we're like, "Are you kidding me? The Batman Kung Fu movie?"
Oh yeah. All right.
All right. Thanks, Brennan. I appreciate it, man.
Always good to hear your voice. Always good to see you, Jason.
Yeah. Good to see you, man.
Talk to you, Rocha.
Hey, yeah, too, brother. Take care, man. I'll see you. Talk to you tomorrow.
Later.
Definitely. All right. Let's bring in Jay Scotty for real. Jay Scotty from the attic. What's up, dude?
What's going on? How are you guys? Good to see you guys.
Good.
Too, brother. Good.
Are you actually in an attic?
I am in the attic, coming at you live from the attic.
All right.
Oh yeah, I lived in a finished attic. That kind of threw me off there a little bit, but
sorry, I was just curious. I was like, are you actually in an attic, or are you fronting? Are you like, you could be an attic stan. I don't know.
Hey, there's a lot of fakers out there, but I am Jay Scotty for real, as we've established in the past. Anyway, wanted to shout out Geek History Lesson.
Oh yeah,
listened to the Vision episode that you dropped today. Really enjoyed that.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah, so I've been listening to the show for a while, and some of the standout episodes for me have been the ones where you've kind of gone outside of the traditional geek sphere. Like the MacGyver episode was a really good episode.
Oh,
so I wanted to ask you, like, are there any characters that you've really wanted to do, but for whatever reason, scheduling wise, or just like it wasn't topical? Are there any characters that are like near and dear to your heart that may not fit the typical nerd or geek sphere that you wanted to cover, or that you have a strong passion for?
good question.
Well, there is There is a super nerdy one that we've wanted to tackle for a long time. That this is not the answer to your question. I'm sorry, but the one that immediately pops in my mind is I've wanted to do a Legion of Superheroes episode for a long time.
Oh wow, yeah.
But the Legion of Superheroes history is so complicated and so ridiculous that I think there's no way you can do it in less than 3 episodes. And I don't think people care about the Legion that much as I do. So I'm like, oh boy, I think it would just like less viewers. So that is one that we keep like, do we try it? Do we really want to do a month of Legion? Another one is Highlander. I love the Highlander film, and I sort of love the franchise, but it's for Geek History Lesson, it's always hard, right? Because the advantage you have with comic books is you have 80 years of history, and most people don't know most of the stuff that happened in 80 years. But when you do something like Highlander, you're just like, well, there are 4 films, go watch them.
Well, wasn't there a comic book series and a book series on Highlander?
There is, and there's also the television show, and then there's the bad television show called The Raven, which is not good. But you know, for that type of stuff, I'm always like, go enjoy it, like go watch it, go enjoy yourself. So like, if we could figure out a way to talk about Highlander or talk about the world, then I would be like, yeah. Nothing off the top. Oh, you know, there is something we've been talking about doing, like notable creators. Because we did a Pixar episode, but we didn't do it about the movies. We did it about like how Pixar was founded, how they started. And some people liked it and some people didn't. But I've always been curious to do like, I don't know, maybe there's a George Lucas episode in that thing. Like, let's talk about George Lucas's life and career. Or even like I mentioned Dan Jurgens. We talked about like maybe bringing Dan Jurgens on and being like, let's talk about everything you've ever worked on. And like make the Geek History Lesson about your career. So those are like some weird out of the box ones.
Like that's your life.
Yeah.
Have you done a Transformers one?
I think so.
Okay.
It's hard. We're at 350 episodes now, so I assume it's like the Cinephiles. Like now you're just like, did we do that?
I know. I have to go back all the time. Yeah.
I have to Google the topics now, man.
Just right off the top of my head, hearing. Oh, sorry, John. Go ahead.
No, real quick. You could break Legion of Superheroes out as a 3-part series over 3 months. And like the first month is part 1. The first week of the second month is part 2. First week of the third.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Like
that way you're not losing the viewers, and you can gauge if there's an interest, and you tease people that the episode 2 in 3 weeks. I don't know. Just
maybe you solve. That's not a bad idea. Yeah,
I love the Legion of Superheroes, and I would totally listen to it if you tap.
Yeah.
To be honest. Sorry.
Just right off the top of my head, when you talked about covering creators more so, it may be a little early and the ink might not quite have dried yet, but I immediately thought of Jon Favreau because he's danced in the Marvel side of things as well as the Star Wars side of things to such success. He could be kind of cool. And he's done great films just like Swingers and stuff like that. And
I mean, I love Chef. The year Chef came out was like one of my favorite films of that year. So
yeah.
Jon Favreau is a great choice, especially like, Swingers, they made that on like a shoestring budget. And look at where he is now. He's basically in control of Star Wars.
Well, I mean, he was the lead in Swingers, but he directed Made, which was his first film right out of a couple of years after Swingers, and did a great job with that. And then of course he's blossomed. I mean, he said the occasional misstep, but I mean, even if you want to complain about Lion King, that thing made $1.6 billion. So really,
I forgot he made Lion King, man.
Yeah. Who's going to hear you with
all that?
What
an interesting career that guy has.
I know, right? It's madness. But Chef was brilliant. Chef was one of those, when you go see a film and you're not sure, and it's like when you walk out, you're like, this was a gem, an absolute gem. So I've seen that 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah, and you did not expect, like from the trailers, you were like, you did not expect that film to be at that level.
Yeah, and the foodie approach to it, you were just like blown away by that. It was accessible, it wasn't snobby, which it was great to experience.
Sure. Right, great question, man.
Yeah,
thank you.
Anything more you got, J. Scotty?
No, I'll let somebody else hop in here, but it was good to see you guys as always. I'll thank you for your service, and see you next time.
Thanks, bud. Good to
Take
see
care.
you. All right, let's bring in from across the pond Darren Wright. What's up, Darren? It's 4 a.m. where you're at?
Yeah, usual for me. Early morning.
You look good.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's because I'm napping the day now, so I'm waiting for the shows.
Did you wake up early or did you stay up late?
No, so because of COVID, I don't work at the moment, so I sleep in the day and I'm get up at the night time for the American streams.
Ah, so you're Batman.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
but from like 2 a.m. till 10 a.m. is my awake time now.
Yeah. You're English Batman. All right.
It's Britman. What's your question there, Darren? What do you got for us?
I've not really foraged much into anime or comics in my life. So the only real experience I've had lately is the Netflix stuff and the Amazon stuff, like The Boys, Umbrella Academy, and Daybreak. So I just wanted to get Jason's opinion on Umbrella Academy and Daybreak, which is the ones I enjoyed the most.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen Daybreak, but I really enjoyed Umbrella Academy.
Both seasons?
Yes, I did. I really did. I think season 2 was better than season 1.
I agree.
In my opinion. And I also think it was like such a good adaptation because I read the Umbrella Academy comic books and they're fine. When you read them, you're kind of like, okay, somebody really likes the X-Men. And you see that in the show. But like I think the show does like such a better job of like making the characters very unique.
Yeah.
And very layered. And like the stuff they do with Klaus is just so far above and beyond what they do in the comic book. Same with number 5. Like
Funnily
number 5
I was
is
going to mention the Klaus character because he's a British actor. And
Yes.
he's literally everything Aidan Gallagher has done.
yes.
He played a similar role before in a TV show called The Misfits.
Okay.
Yes, that's what my wife Ashley was saying the entire time we were watching. She was like, "Oh, he's from Misfits. He's from Misfits." And then the guy who is it Victor? Who is the giant gorilla guy?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's from Game of Thrones. He's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He's like really good.
He's in Love Actually. He's the teacher in Love Actually.
Is he really?
Yeah, when he comes out and announces who's on the stage.
On Game of Thrones, he's Sam Tarley's brother.
Yes.
He's the one that gets burned by Daenerys.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not the. You're talking Tom Hooper. That's who the
Yes.
Yeah. I thought you meant the actual chimp that is the butler and whatever.
Oh no.
That guy, the guy who voices that creature, the character is the guy in Love Actually. Tom Hooper is this.
The guy from Love Actually is Walter White's partner from Grey Matter and Breaking Bad.
See, I need to break it down. But so I loved Umbrella Academy too. The first 2 seasons, really enjoyed it. The first season was good.
Yeah,
I've
held off from reading the 3rd comic on purpose, so I don't know what happens when that gets released.
It's coming soon.
Well, the good thing is that the 3rd comic is covered in the 2nd season of the show. So like the new Sparrow Academy stuff, that comic book has not been released yet, and I don't know if they'll be able to put it out before the show is made. I know they're going to start shooting here pretty soon.
Wow. Because I know it's supposed to be coming soon, right? The Umbrella Academy season 3. I thought they announced that it's going into production.
It's going into production either next month or the month after that. Well, COVID permitting, of course.
There you go.
No, one of my a friend of mine works on that show. His name is Jeff King. He's a really cool guy. He's worked on a bunch of different stuff, his suits and whatever. And I love it because in season 1, when they do the origin story of the Colm Fiora character, where he's like, there's a shot in the finale of season 1 where it's in like the 1910s or whatever, and he walks into the hat to buy a hat, and the hat place is called like King's Hats or whatever, and I was like, oh dude, that's you. Yeah, it was really cool.
It's a good reference. All right, Darren, anything else?
No, that's all good. I just wanted a quick chat, say hello.
All right, man. Good to see you, brother. I like the haircut. Much respect.
Thank you very much.
Have a good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on crime.
Let's see here. Let me bring in. Let me see what we got in terms of Streamlabs. Okay, Brennan Marr. Oh Jesus, Brennan donated a really kind donation. It says, "Do you have a beloved Elseworlds comic? Mine's Superman Red Sun."
Oh yeah. Man. If I didn't think it would take me forever to find it, it's literally right over there. There was a period of DC where they did Elseworlds as like all the annuals, and they did it, and there was this one where it was an Action Comics Elseworlds that tied into a Superboy, and it was a 2-parter, and it was about these aliens came to Earth, and Superman got long hair, and that is my favorite Elseworlds of all time, but. Since I can't really describe that, one that I really love is JLA the Nail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's where the idea is that Martha and John Kent run over a nail on the way to get to Superman's rocket, so they never pick him up.
Oh no!
Yeah. So they do not raise Superman. And so the Justice League in the DC universe forms with no Superman.
Wow.
Yeah.
So does Superman never exist? So this
he comes. I don't really want to tell how he shows up, but like it a lot of it is like showing that like Superman is like literally the nail that holds together the DC universe. And without him, the DC universe sort of falls apart.
That's fair.
Yeah. Which I believe.
I was always partial. Sorry, I was always partial to Gotham.
You can't be yawning yet, man. You got hours of rowing tomorrow.
That's true, I do. But Gotham by Gaslight.
That's a good one.
And when they did it, it was a good adaptation. No complaints. My friend Yuri Lowenthal did one of the voices, but like when I read that, I was just blown away by that. And there were a couple other ones.
Kingdom Come's a good one.
Yes, Kingdom Come is a fantastic one. And I hate that they consider that in Elseworlds because to me that feels like canon. That feels like where we're gonna go.
Sort of. I mean,
and I like that Shazam. It's the best Shazam I've ever seen, Jason.
That's true. I personally I don't like the fact that Lois gets murdered by the Joker.
Fair enough. They always want to kill Lois. Zack wanted to kill Lois too. They always want to kill Lois.
Yeah.
Lois. She's so important, people. All right.
She is.
How close are we to the goal? We're right now. Let me refresh real quick, see where we're at. We're at $114. So we need $86 more to get to that goal for Jason to deliver 3 stories. And if we go $200 more, he'll deliver the evil story. So there you go. Jay Scotty for real says, here's some more scratch for your senior Scratchy. He's got that star quality, don't you think? As much as I loved episode 3 of WandaVision, I need Catherine Hahn's Agnes in more than one scene. The moment with the delivery man in episode 2 was hysterical. Yeah, the mailman, you mean? But what does it mean, the bang bang? What does that mean at all? So are you watching WandaVision? Have you been enjoying it?
I am. I really enjoy it. It reminds me a lot of Lost. I was going to say, if you like Catherine Hahn, I'm literally Googling. She's on a great. If you haven't watched HBO's Mrs. Fletcher, she is the star of, it's created by the guy who also helped create The Leftovers. It's on HBO. Go watch it. It is so good. Like, so as soon as she showed up on WandaVision, I was like, hey, it's Mrs. Fletcher. Yeah. I like WandaVision. I think it's really good. The biggest complaint I have about it is it all rests on the ending. If they don't deliver the ending, it all falls apart.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They're doing such a big buildup, Jason. You're right. And it's a good thing that it's actually appropriate that you reference Lost, because Lost set up this massive stuff, and then a lot of people were not happy with that finale. I didn't mind it, but I know a lot of people were.
I actually as well. Like, I don't mind it because like the finale, everybody thought Lost was about like all the bullshit, and I was like, no, it's about Jack. And so like when the finale was like, yeah, here's the story of Jack, everybody was like, are you kidding me? Talk about the smoke monster. And I was like, no, I'm fine, Jack.
Where's the polar bear, for God's sake?
Yeah, that was all the criticisms I heard for the next 2 years. They were like, you never explained the pyramid. And I was like, they never were going to explain the pyramid. Couldn't you tell?
What about the codes that you're supposed to enter?
Yeah. What about the numbers and the lottery ticket? And I'm like, they're just throwing in shit because they think it's cool.
Yeah. It's still my favorite episode of television ever is The Constant.
I agree. I think it's the greatest episode of television of all. I remember I tweeted about that. You responded. I remember that.
Yep.
Such a good show. Well. I've showed that episode to people that have never watched an episode of Lost, and they're like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it's their apex. Let's see here. What do we got? Alan Smithy says, I'll try again, Rocha. You don't have to watch this if you don't want to. I don't want to be accused of tampering. I don't know what this means. Is this him auditioning for him? Oh, it's his audition tape for the Schmodown. I will definitely watch it. Absolutely. Did you get put on the list, Smithy? Let me know. I know he listed a final list the other day. All right. Gavin Mendona said, aloha, Jason and John. First off, thank you both for your service. Oh, very kind.
Thank you.
If you could cast any character, not actor, from Star Trek as Batman, so any character from Star Trek as Batman, who would it be and why? Have a great evening, gents, and mahalo nui loa. I hope.
Are you in Hawaii? That's awesome. Or
seems like he is. Yeah,
I love Hawaii.
Me too, buddy.
I think this is easy.
Okay,
it's Worf.
Oh, that's a good choice.
It's Worf. Who else would be? Look. He's a stick in the mud.
Yes.
Like Batman.
Yes.
We know he's good with hand-to-hand combat.
Yes.
And he's already got the growly voice.
True. Very, very true.
I mean, you have another pick? To me, I was like, yeah, it's Worf.
Let me think. That's a great point. Number one would want to be Batman.
Yeah, that's true.
He's not Batman.
No, he's a Max Lord.
Yeah, he's a Max Lord. Yeah.
And let me put it this: his wife, Jadzia Dax, would make a badass Catwoman, or Robin, whichever way you wanted to go.
Good suggestion.
Yeah.
What about you wouldn't think Spock would be a good Batman? You don't think Spock would be a good Batman?
No. Spock would be a good Alfred, though.
No? All right. I think he's so smart, like a detective. Like he's always figuring shit out. I feel like Spock handles the detective side of things.
I don't know. I think Spock is he's too good to be a vigilante.
Ah.
You know,
that's a good point.
Like he would be the commissioner of Gotham.
Right.
He'd be but I don't think he would break the rules. Whereas like Worf is like for honor and battle and screw the rules, you know?
Right. Okay.
Also, Worf, also an orphan.
Oh, good point. I see Worf more as a Hawkman, but all right, I'll give it to you, man. I'll give it to you. All right, where are we at right now? Let me refresh real quick on the page, and then we got another person waiting to come in live and talk to you, brother man. $114, so we're still $86 short, people. Don't you want to hear Jason Inman's story about meeting Doctor Who Peter Capaldi, about meeting Robert Kirkman, and who is the nicest person in the Arrowverse? These are the stories you get if we get to $200. So please send in your Streamlabs. You put the address above Jason's head. It's also pinned to the chat. Now let's bring in Ronan Unchained. What's up, dude? How are you?
How you doing, John? Hey, Jason.
Good to see you, man.
Now, Jason, I know in the past you and I vibed off a lot about Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern, and I don't know if anyone's asked you this yet, but I know you have a lot of action figures. You probably have a lot of his comics. Do you happen to have any of his original art by Daryl Banks in your collection?
Oh, I wish. I wish. Oh man. You know, I usually buy most of my original art at cons.
Right.
So I haven't been able to, because of all this
for
stuff.
a while. Yeah.
Right. I do have a Daryl Banks commission though.
Ooh.
Because my wife and I do this thing because I love Superman and she loves Robin. So we will commission artists to draw whatever Superman character, whatever Robin character they want and put them together. And we commissioned Daryl Banks to draw Con-El Superboy and Tim Drake Robin together, like in the Young Justice costumes. But this is as close as I got to the original art. Here, hold on a second. This is like me being like, show and tell. Hold on a second. This is literally over my desk. Okay. This is a poster from comic book shops in 1994.
Wow, Lord.
This is a Daryl Banks. This is this poster that they sent to comic book shops to promote the Ron Mars and Daryl Banks Green Lantern run. And this is because it says first issue collector's edition. Yeah, this is like as close as and you can see like the fold is in it. I found this on eBay, and this hangs over my desk.
That's awesome.
So
I'm not trying to measure up to you, Jason, as well, but I love.
No, it's not a measuring contest. It's fine.
I love Kyle so much that it's not foldable, but I have my wooden cover.
I've seen those. I've seen those as well.
I remember when I found it out. I'm like, it has Hall in the background, my hometown. I'm like, I gotta put that up in my wall.
I have that issue signed by Daryl and Ron.
Oh
yeah.
You tried to one up him, man, but he's got it. He's got it.
He's got the limited folded one.
I will carry my Kyle Rayner collection from the other room into here. I will make you wait.
Now, I'm curious when it comes to the comic book genre, and I know we've gotten several different shows, The Boys, Preacher, all different that aren't just Marvel and DC. And this goes to you, John, as well, because I don't know how much of the new or past few years of independent comics you've read, but is there still a title that either of you two still want to see adapted or readapted in either in a movie or in a show? Like for me, the film The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is a guilty pleasure. I like the comic book series, but I know that would make a killer HBO Max show, whatnot, with the Victorian era, and make Quartermain and whatnot. For me, I love that series because it's so different and unique. And it's Dr. Jekyll with oh my gosh, I'm forgetting her name, but she's a vampire.
Nina Harker.
Nina Harker. And I'm like, if you could get. Well, is there a title either you two guys still want to see adapted and be like, that's right there, money or an audience still seeking that great material?
That's a great question. First off, that's a great choice.
Yeah.
League of Extraordinary, especially have either of you guys seen Lupin?
Not yet.
I heard of it.
Oh, it's really good. I was just about to say that, like, a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen television show or an HBO Max show in the style of Lupin would be like fire.
I like this idea.
Because it's very much a like heisty, thiefy European. Yeah. It's so cool, which is the thing that the movie missed because they just made it an action adventure movie.
Oh God,
right?
The first run of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is excellent.
The
first volume,
second run, the first volume, second volume, but the first volume was stellar. So when I went to see the movie, I was still glowing from it, and I excused the movie too much. Mm-hmm. And now when I watch it, I just get angry because they pissed away so many great possibilities with these stories. Mm-hmm. And thank God Penny Dreadful came along because Penny Dreadful kind of redeemed that in my mind for what was possible. Yeah.
That vibe. Yeah.
I have two choices for this.
Okay.
I'll go for it.
And they both weirdly involve animals, and I don't know why.
All right.
One is there is a great, I keep bringing his name up, Brian K. Vaughan. He did a great standalone graphic novel called Pride of Baghdad.
Ooh.
And it is set during the Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Wow.
And it is in the first year, it is the idea that the United States Army comes through Baghdad. And this is a true story. The lions got loose of the zoo because the zoo got bombed.
Right.
And it's about the pride of lions. It's from their perspective, trying to escape Baghdad in the war. And like the book is told from the perspective of the lions, and it is powerful and heartbreaking. It's like Watership Down heartbreaking.
Brian K. Vaughan did,
and Brian K. Vaughan wrote this. It's one of his few. It's one of his comic books that people don't know about. Like it is astounding. I
gotta read it now.
Yeah, Pride of Baghdad. They just did a deluxe edition of it. That's pretty sweet. I think last year. The other one is, again, we're going to animals. We Three. Have you heard of that by Grant Morrison?
I haven't heard that one yet. No.
So We Three is this book about. It is the government. Super combined cybernetics and super bullshit with a cat and a dog.
Wow.
And so they can talk in human language, but they're kind of off. And so they're like, me am good boy. And it's about these three cybernetic animals running from the government before the government captures them again and forces them to be like super soldiers.
Wow. These are like thrillers. These are thrillers.
Yeah, they're also heartbreaking, man. They're heartbreaking. Both of them.
Oh, anything with animals is breaking. It's just gonna break my heart. I know.
I keep waiting for this. I keep waiting for Frank Miller's.
Oh yeah.
This one. I go.
Yeah, man.
I maybe read this as often as I read Dark Knight Returns. No lie, because this still in 2020
right before it.
It was, and in 2020
it's Samurai Jack before Samurai Jack.
And also, what it's talking about is topical to what's going on in our world now. This advancement of technology, how it's consuming our world and changing as soon as it touches people, it changes them without them knowing it changes them. And we have to go back to this past time in order to save the future time. It's fantastic. And I think it still works. It should be an animated HBO Max series. Absolutely.
I think it would be a badass live action movie too. I know they've tried to make it a couple of times and then it keeps like getting lost in developmental hell.
It's like Why the Last Man. It's like Why the Last Man, where I'm praying that we get that one day, and it's like,
I read that pilot.
You read it?
I read it. I read that script a couple of years ago. It was a fantastic script. And then when the production fell apart, I was like, no. So I don't know if they're still using that script or not.
Well, Go ahead, brother.
Michael Green, I believe, the guy who wrote Logan, Blade Runner, I believe, and I think he also worked on American Gods. I think he was tapped at a certain point to run the show, which I was just like, guys, you have a home run right there. This is 2 for 2 or 3 for 3 right now. Like, do it. And whenever
I will tell you. It's a weird thing, and the biggest lesson I've learned, and John can tell you this as well, is that everything in Los Angeles, especially in Hollywood, you could have a home run of like a great director, a great script, the cast is signed, you are one day from shooting, like you're literally going to start shooting tomorrow, and then out of nowhere, the studio will just be like, yeah, we're going to delay it.
Oh,
Yeah.
And they will just not explain why. And you just, that is like part of the thing. Like you never, like my show that I'm currently on, it was supposed to shoot last summer, and then COVID has just
man.
And so, you know, it's one of those similar things. And we're kind of like, hey, can we go? Can we start?
Is that cool? We do that?
Can we go again? You know, so you never know.
Yeah.
For those of you who, it's great in the chat here, Pride of Baghdad is apparently on Kindle Unlimited. And Soul said Pride of Baghdad is available for free on Hoopla.
Hoopla is one of the greatest apps ever.
On the United States. So there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Thanks for coming in, man. Good to see you.
Great
Thank
question.
you, John. It was good seeing you. Jason, it was great seeing you again.
Keep working on that Kyle Rayner collection.
I will. I give you my word.
That's awesome. Let's see. All right, we're still stuck, people. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's going to take. We're at 134 right now, so like $65 more. I don't know what it is, people.
All right, I'll tell you what. John, pick the story, and if we break 140, I'll tell it.
There we go. All right.
So pick one of the three.
All right.
You don't get all three people for 140, but John, which one do you want to hear?
Let's hear the Robert
Kirkman
story. Yeah.
It's the shortest one, so that's pretty good.
I want to keep the Capaldi to 200.
All right. Let's okay. So if we get to 140, I will tell Robert Kirkman. That's very doable, everybody.
All right, we're almost there. All right, Calvin, what's up, Calvin? What do you got?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What's going on, Jason? What's going on, man?
Hey, man.
You doing all right?
I am good.
I got two questions. I got one that is a regular question, and I got another one that's a little personal question.
Okay.
But the first one, I want to know what did you think of Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale?
You mean like on their work, like on the Long Halloween stuff?
Their work.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah.
Tim Sale.
All their work right here.
Oh man, Tim Sale is one of those artists that I wish he was faster. Because that's the reason why we don't see more work from him, is because he's like very meticulous, and he's very like, I gotta make sure everything's shaded. I wish we could see more work from him. I like it. Like Long Halloween is one of the best Batman stories of all time.
Yes, agreed. Do you think they're telling that in the Batman?
Fun fact, that's the next two animated movies from DC. They're going to do Long Halloween as a two-parter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
because
they're going to do that JSA one first. Like there's a JSA set in World War II, and then after that it's Batman Long Halloween Part 1, Batman Long Halloween Part 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
we had
that.
We all went to school with Tim Sheridan, who did the Superman.
Yes.
But yeah, Tim is a friend of ours from back at Florida State.
You Florida boys.
I know. I was shocked that it's incredible to see Tim's rise, because I'm telling you, Tim was like wandering the earth in the early 2000s in LA, just kind of floating around, trying to figure out what he wanted to do. And thanks to, I think, Ted Biaselli, who was at Netflix, and other people, like he found his way towards this situation, and he totally appreciates and is so humbled by all the sudden, success he's achieved here. And we're all happy for him, honestly. He's such a great guy.
He's a really good guy.
Yeah. What's your second question there, Calvin?
Oh, my other one, if you want to answer, you don't have to answer if you don't want to. I just want to know how you met. No, it's nothing crazy. I just want to know how you met Ashley V. Robinson.
Oh, yeah. How'd you guys get together?
So I won't tell the full story of that. I guess I could have done that. That's a long story. I will say I met her in a comic book shop. No joke. 100%
really?
serious. She was behind the register at a comic book shop. That's how I met her.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Was that now? Was that before or after you was deployed?
Oh, way after. I was deployed like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Well,
I was a very young man. I was a boy when I was deployed. I had no right holding an M16 when I was deployed. That's how young I was.
I hate to tell you, I wouldn't hold an M16 today, or even back then. But I get it.
Yeah. No, it was. I was deployed in 2005, and I met Ashley in 2013.
Wow, it's
cool.
hard to believe it's still in single digits that you've known her, because it feels like it's been such a long time that you guys have been. As long as I've known you, you've been with her. So
we didn't meet. I was with her when I met you.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Cool, Calvin. Anything else you got? Are you good?
That's all I got. Only thing I got left to say, son, is Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang. Cash rules everything around me. All right.
All right.
Thanks for the questions, man.
Much love, Calvin.
Cool.
All right, let's bring in Tushka, my man down in Oklahoma. What's up, dude?
What's going on, y'all? What's up, Jason? How we doing?
Hey, we chatted last time, right?
Yeah, we sure did, man.
Wait. Where in Oklahoma are you from again?
Well, I'm living in Broken Bow, but I grew up in Claymore, Grove, Tahlequah area.
I told you the story about that. That's where the Klingons are going to land, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I had watched it before.
Yeah.
But then I went back and kind of rewatched it, just kind of see how much scenery and everything was kind of used and such. But
you got about 150 years, so I hope you're ready.
Yeah, well, that's if America makes it 150 years. Who knows?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, let's take one.
By the way, we don't know in Star Trek if America makes it to the Federation. We have no clue.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
But
Kirk's Canadian, for God's sake. Yeah,
I got this little thing in the mail the other day.
Oh, hey man, that's awesome.
Yeah. I haven't read it yet, but looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Actually, Soul has a talk show, and so I'm actually probably going to read that for some of the conversation on that.
Please share the link with me.
Yeah.
I'd love to share it.
Yeah, definitely, brother. I'll send you a message because I don't want to throw you under the bus, but there was something missing with it. But
there was something missing.
Just hand signature, I think.
Oh, okay. Did you get it through the Kickstarter? Or did you get it through the?
Yeah, I got it through the Kickstarter. Yeah,
and we didn't sign it.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
It's all right. It's all right.
I'm sorry.
You're
the one. You're the one.
I'm actually more mad that I didn't have a character made after me. Yeah.
Why you put business in the streets, dude? This is a DM conversation.
I know, and I just said I was going to DM him, but then there's that.
Whoop that ass! You come on my show and start this nonsense. Go ahead. What's your question?
If you send me a message, we can DM you.
Yeah,
we can send you a book plate.
There you go.
Yeah. No,
we'll give you some stickers and some other stuff. Sorry about that.
No, it's right. Hey, it happens. I was actually more offended that I didn't have a character made after me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought we had a connection. I mean, Kansas City and everything, being Royals fans, man. I was waiting for that.
Man, if you want, you're in the business now, man. You want a character named after you? You got to front that green.
It's from the green. Yeah, right.
You got to invest.
No, but yeah, man. I asked last time and you said no. But are you a Kansas City Chiefs fan yet? Come on now.
No. I know they're good, and I know. Oh, did he just leave?
Yeah, I didn't take him out.
Oh boy.
Yeah, keep going. So you're not a fan.
No. I mean, I had a Kansas City Chiefs coat in high school. Yeah. That's about as far as it went.
Right.
But you got to realize, when I lived in Kansas, the Kansas City Chiefs were garbage.
Yeah,
they were fucking horrible.
Right. But
were the Royals, man, and the Royals ascended to this great baseball team too. I think it must have been me when I was fans of them. They just weren't any good.
Yeah, if they could just stop doing the chop, I think I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What do we got? All right, Andrew Hale. Thank you, Andrew. He says, "Hello, Jason. What are some underrated TV shows you can recommend to us folks? Doesn't have to be superhero / comic book related. Also, John, definitely got to watch Breaking Bad. Best show of all time." Yeah, I know. I finished the first season, and I was with my ex-girlfriend, and it was when things were falling apart, and I just didn't want to go forward with the show. So I got to find my way back to the show for sure. So Jason, do you have some underrated TV shows that you can recommend?
Yeah.
Or otherwise?
The most underrated science fiction show on the air is The Expanse. It's on Amazon Prime.
Everyone tells me to watch.
Yep, it's the best science fiction show on television.
Is it a chore? It's 5 seasons. Is it a chore to jump in now and start from the beginning, or no?
Well, I mean, what do you mean by chore?
How many episodes is it per season?
Oh, there are only 10 episodes per season.
Oh, see, that's
so
good.
It's not that much. But I will say it's like Game of Thrones, man. It is a show that you have to watch.
Okay.
But that's why it's so great. I think The Prisoner, also on Amazon Prime, is a great show. The 1960s Prisoner show.
Yes.
It's one of the greatest shows of all time. There was something else I was watching recently that I think is an underrated gem. I'll tell you what, something I've been enjoying, a British series, Grand Designs. There's 2 seasons on Netflix. There's 2 seasons on Amazon Prime. It's about British rich people building crazy houses. It is. It is like my 2020 gem, man. I had so much fun watching these crazy British people build insane houses for insane amounts of money.
My girlfriend got into that Tiny House Nation show, which drove me insane. those little ones, So now that you've got a British one, which she loves watching everything British, I will absolutely see.
Well, it's not tight. They build huge houses.
That's what I'm saying. As long as it's British, though, that's all that matters.
Oh yeah.
I'm down with it. See what that's all about for sure. Yeah, a lot of people are recommending the Orville.
I like the Orville.
I just finished Atlanta, which I'd never seen. Holy shit! If you
I've only seen the first season. It's pretty good.
Oh my god, it's so good. The second season's even better, and I think it has two of the best episodes of the show. And it's stellar stuff. If you haven't watched that, I finally caught up with that. Let's see. Dairy Girls. If you haven't watched any Dairy Girls, do yourself a favor. It's a fantastic Irish comedy on Netflix. 2 seasons of it. It's set in the 90s during the Troubles. So it's a comedy, but set in the 90s. So you're dealing with real world shit along with funny, sarcastic comedy from these young female actresses who are all fantastic. So just suggesting there for something for you.
Another one I'll say, because everybody went crazy about this creator's he made the Queen's Gambit, Scott Frank.
Yeah.
Godless on Netflix is one of the best Westerns of the last 20 years.
Yep.
And it's the same guy who made so if you enjoyed the Queen's Gambit, it's a completely different genre, completely different tone.
Yeah.
But Jeff Daniels won an Emmy for it. Yep. It is such a great series.
He's a stellar villain. Stellar villain.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's see what our next one here is from Justin Toner. It says, greetings, John and Jason. Wanted to help donate to the nation and hear at least one of Jason's stories. Really glad he could join us tonight. Well, I think with that donation, we have crossed. Let me see. I'm updated. Yes, we're at 145. So, Jason, please.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
Okay. So 2014 is the year. It's San Diego Comic-Con. Image Comics used to do this thing called Image Expo.
Oh.
And it was where the Image comic book creators, and it was invite only. Okay. Image comic book creators would do this thing where they would reveal for the press, like, these are the next comic books, or the comic books coming out. I think the year I went, they announced, like, Descender, if you're reading that. And it was like the year of all these space books. Mm-hmm. And a friend of mine was an Image creator at the time, so he invited me in, and I got to go with him, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And so it was a really cool thing. I got to meet Kurt Busiek, if you know Kurt Busiek, who wrote Astro City, and he wrote, in my opinion, the greatest Avengers comic book run of all time. I was super nervous to meet him. He was there because he was launching his Image comic book.
Wow.
So I go with my friend, and we sit down, and in the row in front of us is Robert Kirkman.
Okay.
And this is the name I keep bringing up tonight, Brian K. Vaughan.
Wow.
And they are like, every comic book they show, they're like, oh, look at that one, oh my god. They're chatting like schoolgirls, and I mentioned to my friend, I was like, oh shit, that's Robert Kirkman and Brian K. Vaughan, and he's like, oh yeah, I know him. You want to meet him? And I'm like, what? And without even, he like tap, and Robert Kirkman is a bear of a man.
Yes, he is.
If you've ever met, he is big and tall and whatever, and met him, lovely as can be, and so is Brian K. Vaughan, very nice, and we chit-chatted for a little bit. And after the Image Expo, I needed to go back to, we were staying at the Marriott, or not the Marriott, but the one, I forgot, the Hyatt, I think, maybe, the next one down. And I had to go there, and I noticed as I was making the way around Hall H and through the throng of the crowd that Robert Kirkman, because he's a big bear of a man, was about 20 feet in front of me.
Wow.
But I was starting to catch him fast because this was a couple years into Walking Dead and everybody was stopping him.
Right.
Everybody was stopping him. So he get stopped, selfie. And, I was getting closer. I was about 5 feet. I was getting close. I was up on the guy because nobody was stopping me.
Yeah.
I wasn't on DC at the time. Nobody had any clue who the hell I was. And, thankfully. But as he would keep going, every once in a while, because he'd turn around, I started noticing him catching me. Like, he was like, oh, man. And at first I was like, I was like, oh, does he think I'm, like, following him or I'm stalking him? Like, what's going on here? Yeah. And he does another one. He does another one. And by this point, like, I am, like, inches up on him. Yeah. And then he does another one, and then he turns around, and he just clamps his hands on my shoulders and like pulls me in like real close, and he just goes, Jason, I'm fucking tired of taking selfies.
That is awesome.
And then we walked together the rest of the way to the Hyatt, and I'm sort of his like shield to block selfies.
It's true. I'm sure it's true. I mean, what's your?
But I'll tell you what. When knowing how when he clamped on, I was like, is he gonna punch me? What is going on?
No more selfies.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, let's see. That was worth it, ladies and gentlemen. I think that was worth it for the love of God.
And that is the shortest and I think least interesting of the stories, by the way.
See, we get Capaldi in 60. Come on, $55 to get to Capaldi, people. Yep. We're running out of time with Jason too. You know, we only have a certain amount of time. Let's see. Tushka said he rage quit. All right, you want to make it out? You want to say you're sorry? Is that what you want?
I sure do. Yeah, I sure do.
I'm sorry I don't like the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm sorry I didn't sign your book.
You're good.
But you don't have to leave the stream.
I know.
Well, whenever Jay does it, it's funny, but apparently it came off.
He's a comedian. He's a comedian. Tushka.
Well, hey, I'm a comedian too.
Oh,
I just don't make money.
Are you?
So yeah,
really work.
But hey,
that is pretty funny.
I had a jacket too when I was a kid, bud.
Oh, nice.
I also had that bowl cut.
Nice.
Thanks, Mom.
We all had that bowl cut.
Yeah, no shit.
Right.
Yeah.
I had it till I was 15. No lie.
Yeah, I think it was maybe 12, 13 when I finally was like, all right, Mom, it's enough.
Cut it out, Mom.
Yep. Can we do something else, please?
Right. Yeah. But hey, sorry to take more time, but what did you think of Star Trek Discovery this last season?
The season 3?
Yeah.
I thought it was the best season of the whole show. I kind of wish they had just gone to the future in season 1.
Right.
I think it proved right out of the gate that Discovery should have been the show in the far, far future and not the prequel. And that, because like that was always the stuff that was like mucking up the works and making the show make all the fans be like, well, wait a minute, what? That doesn't fit in. But now that they're like far in the future, they can do whatever they want. I think spoilers, they get new uniforms. If that's a spoiler, they're all over the internet. I think the new uniforms look pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought the Easter eggs they did really cool. I enjoyed it. I do think it's the best season of Discovery.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Robert Meyer Burnett's over here. Jason Inman's over here. That's what I like. I like it. I mean, he has so much hate for this stuff. I have to get him on again to talk about it. All right, Tushka, thanks so much, brother.
Appreciate y'all. Much love.
Take care, man.
DM Jason, don't forget.
Yeah, please. But I'm not going to love the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm sorry.
No,
they're going to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, I mean, what more do they want? They're going to the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, they won. They beat me. I'm not going to the Super Bowl.
Kyle Hudson, what's up, dude?
I was just gonna say, today I'm about to start season 2, episode 1 of Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Nice,
excellent choice.
Also, for Christmas, I got a very good book.
Okay,
what was it?
Super Soldiers by Jason Inman.
What? Whoa, dude! Thank you. What did you buy it from Amazon, or did you buy it from my store? Or?
I think Amazon.
All right, nice.
I
still get paid either way. I'm just, I didn't know if yours was one of the copies I signed. Weirdly, a lot of people bought Super Soldiers this year, and I was signing gifts to people as, or I was like saying from blah 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 by the, and so I was curious if you were one of those people.
I don't think it's signed. Do you want to see my copy though?
Yeah, pimp it out, man. I'll take any free self-promotion. Let's go. Writing books, man. Nobody cares about prose books. Hold them on camera.
Look at that red wall, man. Respect. That's a tough thing. All right.
Thank you, man. What did you think?
I have not read it yet.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It's been a month, guy.
I've been reading this monstrosity. So
What's that one?
What's that?
It's Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson.
Oh, that guy. I don't know.
That guy again.
Yeah. Does that guy do a podcast? No.
Does he do selfies? No.
I think he's dead, actually. And he's a great author.
Awesome, Kyle. And do you have a question for Jason?
Just favorite Star Trek character in Deep Space Nine.
Ooh, in Deep Space Nine.
Ooh,
that is not a spoiler for me.
Oh, well, this won't be a spoiler. You've met the character already. Garrick the Tailor. played by Andrew Robinson, who teaches acting at UCLA now.
Wow.
And he was also in one of the Dirty Harry movies. I think he was in the Deadpool.
Okay.
Fantastic character. One of the greatest characters in television, I think. This spy that you don't quite know is a spy. And I love that this is no spoilers. Throughout 7 seasons, they never confirm. He's like the Joker's origin story in Dark Knight. They never confirm what he is, ever. They tell you lots of different stories, but they leave it up to you to decide what is the truth. Because he has this great line in one of these scenes where Dr. Bashir says in an episode to him when he tells him one of the stories, he goes, "Oh, I thought for that time you were actually telling me the truth." And Garrett goes, "Why, dear doctor, it was all true." And the doctor goes, "Well, what about the lies?" And he goes, "Especially the lies." And I think that's such a fascinating way to leave a character, because we're like in this culture, right, where we want the definite answer or we want the Easter egg. And I think it's always more interesting to just let the audience fill in the blank.
That's good. Yeah. And the actor who plays him said the important thing about Garrick is that he lives in the subtext. Again, with the iceberg analogy. What the fuck am I saying? Is it analogy? What am I saying?
Analogy.
That's it. All right. The iceberg analogy. Jeez, what time is it? The substance of Garrick is what you don't hear. It's what he doesn't say.
By the way, do you want a fun Star Trek Easter egg?
Please.
Well, I was asking your guest.
Oh,
John.
Sorry. Good. Yeah, sorry.
Shut up, John.
Star Trek
Shut up on your own show.
I apologize.
I got John to be the voice of Scotty for me in the final episode of our Star Trek web series, The Red Shirt Diary. So if you go find it, it's episode 30. John is Scotty. Because my Scotty actor was sick and couldn't do it. And I was like, I need it today, John, please. And he did an excellent job.
Yeah. I can't think anymore. Anyway, all right. Thanks, dude. Good to see you.
I think I made you say the haggis is in the fire.
Yeah, I think that was what.
Have a nice night, everybody.
Have a nice night. Thank you I hope you enjoyed the book.
I will, hopefully.
Thank you, buddy.
I will, hopefully.
Yeah. Say the haggis is in the fire for sure. That's the line I made you say.
Is it the haggis is in the fire for sure? Something like that.
Oh boy.
I think we had some more work on it. Jackson Bird says, "Hey John and Jason, I love you both." Jason, thank you very much, Jackson. Jason, your Superman pitches with Riley are amazing. What do you think of Titans and Young Justice, Nightwing? Also, are we ever going to get the Last Son Superman pitch?
Oh, is the Last Son? It was our number 3 because Riley and I I called number 2 Man of Tomorrow, and then I wanted to call the third one Last Son, or because Warner Bros. Would never let me call Last Son of Krypton, which is what it should be called, but they'll let me call it Last Son. Sure, if Riley invites me back, I'd love to do it.
There you go.
I like Young Justice Nightwing. I like the Titans costume of Nightwing. The actor is really good that plays Nightwing, but they give him some weird storylines.
Oh,
yeah, and some dialogue. Yeah, the first trailer where he says "fuck Batman," I'm like, that's not Dick Grayson.
That's true.
Yeah.
Jason, have you Red Panda? Jason, have you
Red
seen
Panda.
the DS9 documentary on YouTube?
I was at the premiere of that documentary. I went to the premiere of What You Leave Behind, and I am happy to say that I have gotten to know the maker and the host of that documentary, Mr. Ira Stephen Bear, has become an acquaintance of mine, and he's a very lovely gentleman. He's an astounding writer.
Yeah. Someday you're going to have to teach me how to do that. I meet people all the time and have great conversations with them, but I can't seem to go that extra mile and ask for their phone number or their contact information. I get super nervous, and I go into fan mode instead of host professional mode, and kind of respect their what they've achieved, and I don't try to become more than just I interviewed you. And so I don't know.
Oh, I always try to send them an email or a DM and just say, "Hey, it was lovely to meet you." And
that's smart. You
got to strike up a conversation. You always have to strike. This is a professional. Anybody you admire, if you send them an email or a DM like a normal person, and ask them a question, most people will respond. But the problem is that I think you nailed it, John. Where you go into super fan mode and you're too nervous to act like a normal person, and then that weirds the person out.
Yeah. I've made a resolution to stop acting like that in 2021 because I'm a man, goddammit. Right,
and you got a rowing machine.
And I got a rowing machine in my garage.
Yeah,
Red
What We
Panda
Left
says
Behind.
It was called What We Left Behind.
That is
there you
correct,
go.
Red Panda.
Thanks, Red. I appreciate it. And do we have another Streamlab that's come? Oh, Molly Damon. Molly.
Hey, Molly.
Molly's in here. That's very kind of her. She said, just saying hi to two legends with a smiley face. Oh,
thank
Molly,
you, Molly.
you're the legend. You're the legend.
I'm supposed to be joining her to talk about Marvel stuff pretty soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. What is she? Is it on the? Is she have her own show? What do you?
I think it's Molly and Alex are doing some sort of Marvel comic booky show on Twitch, and I was gonna.
That's great.
It's supposed to be in like 2 weeks, I think.
Wow. All right. I'd like to throw myself in the mix at some point.
Throw
Molly.
it in there. Throw it in
This
there.
is me not fanning. This is.
I
me-
hope I didn't spoil anything. If they
Uh-oh.
haven't revealed that show, and sorry.
Well, if it's 2 weeks away, I feel like they should have already revealed.
Yeah.
Yes, Molly Damon says it's on Twitch.
It's on Twitch.
There you go.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's there. All right.
Give our best to Alex as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that guy. Tell him I want his ass. All right, Justin Toner, how are you?
That's a weird statement.
Well,
Hi, John. Hey, Jason.
Hey,
what's up,
man.
bud?
Oh, I'm doing good. Good.
Wait. Sorry to interrupt you. Is that a Captain Kirk calendar in your background?
Yes, it is.
Oh, well done, sir. I'll give you applause too. There we go.
Yeah, I love the original series. It's a Trek calendar, original series theme that I did Boggs are Noble a couple weeks ago. It's cool because each month is a different episode and has like a quote from the episode on the as well.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I had one last year just like it, and I decided to get it again because it's like.
Have you ever gotten or seen the Ships of the Line calendars?
Yeah, I've
John,
never
do you know
gotten
what
that,
I'm
though.
talking about with that?
No, Ships of the Line.
So like the Ships of the Line is like where they'll get people that have done like the matte paintings or the designers or the artists that have actually worked on Star Trek.
Okay.
And they'll just be like, do 12 pretty pictures of any freaking ship from Star Trek, and each month is like a new picture, and it is like television show matte painting quality images of these starships.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like beautiful, and they always call they do a new edition. They always call it Ships of the Line.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I've never seen that in stores. I'll probably have to order that online sometime. I may have
They're
to.
a little pricey because
Yeah.
I think they actually commission these artists who are very expensive Hollywood artists to like do these every month. And I think they're like, okay, I'll draw a picture for March, but you're gonna pay me.
I've learned that as I've gotten older, I've learned that it's okay to pay extra for things like that because you literally do get what you pay for. The quality is better. And you retain it, you cherish it more than if you pay less for something.
John will appreciate this, and I'm sorry we're like completely torpedoing your question, sir.
No. Go ahead.
Justin doesn't.
I paid more for Paul McCartney tickets than I've paid for any concert in my life. But I will tell you, the minute he played, it was like watching a Renaissance master play guitar, where you were like, oh my, he is that good.
Yep.
Like he is that amazing right in front of me.
I'd like to echo Jason's story. I paid at the Hollywood Bowl. I've never paid this much for a ticket. And I can't imagine I ever will again. $240 for one ticket just to spend 4 or 3.5 hours with Paul McCartney playing and his multiple encores. And it was one of the greatest nights of my life.
Yep.
Just
Me too.
everyone else sings along with the songs. You don't feel self-conscious. You're just around everybody who's enjoying being taken into the memories of these songs. And of course, he does his new stuff too, which is good. But like having him lead you and sing alongs, and he puts the mic out there, or encourage you to sing. Like it's just an incredible experience.
One of the greatest memories, and this will embarrass her, but it'll be a good embarrassing story. And John, I paid way more for my ticket than that, so I won't even say what I paid.
You said you were closer, so I imagine
I was like 20 feet from the stage because I was like, this might be my only chance. I'm doing it. I will go in the poorhouse. I went with Ashley, of course, and we were debating about what song is he going to open with? Like what song? And he comes out and he does Brang, the opening chord of Hard Day's Night. And Ashley and every other woman in the audience just starts crying. So you're like, oh, that's why the girls are always screaming at Beatles concerts in the past, because there's like something about that being in the present. So I'm sorry. I hope you're asking a Beatles question. You're probably not. I don't know.
What do you got, Justin?
Well, it's related to one of the MCU shows that's coming up on Disney Plus that I'm really looking forward to in this show, because that is one of my favorite comic book series growing up.
Wait, which show? Which show?
The What If, the animated.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like I was like my mind was blown. I was like they're actually doing a What If. It's like they're really going to be that daring, because like if you read a lot of those What If comics, it's like they can get pretty wild, because like it's like they would just like go all out. They're afraid to kill lots of characters. Tangent. So I was curious, since you Jason loves DC and Elseworlds. What were some of your favorite What If comics from back in the day? Like What If stories?
It's weird. The one I remember the most is a super goofy one. There's two I remember, but the one I remember the most is the super goofy one. It's What If Aunt May became the Herald of Galactus?
Yes.
Yeah, it's real. And they call her Golden Oldie.
Yes.
That's her hilarious. Silver Surfer name is Golden Oldie.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. I think I might own that issue that has that story.
Do you? It's a really good one.
Yeah, it's a short story. Like it's like a backup story, but it's freaking hilarious.
My favorite one, I don't remember what the title of it is, but there's one that twists the first appearance of Frank Castle, and so in it, I think it's What If the Punisher had killed Spider-Man, and so it's that first appearance. And he kills Spider-Man, and then he realizes that Spider-Man was a teenager, and so he becomes very upset about it, and then he sets out the rest of the issue to murder the Jackal, because he's like, "You tricked me, you son of a bitch."
Yeah, I remember that one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's another one where he kills Daredevil by accident, and it just causes a downward spiral where it's that causes all the other characters, both characters to be killed.
And there's a classic one. A really classic one is there's one where it's what if Dr. Doom had kept the Silver Surfer's powers, because it's retelling that Stan Lee, and that one's a really good one too.
Yeah, one of my favorites from it was the second run, because there was two runs of the What If, one from the 70s, 80s, and then there was one into the 90s.
There was a 90s. The 90s one got pretty goofy sometimes though.
Yeah, it did. One of the early ones that I really enjoyed was it was What If Wonder Man had not died when it did his first appearance, when he was infiltrating the Avengers as a member of the Masters of Evil, but then had a change of heart, and but he ended up dying. And of course, if you know the lore, his memories, of course, were key to creating the Vision and everything.
Yes.
And so in this one, he reveals that he's he's supposed to betray them, and they find a cure for his powers killing him, and so he doesn't die. And he becomes a key member of the Avengers, and that totally changes everything, because then when they get Avengers history, where the Vision is created by Ultron, without Wonder Man's brains, Ultron puts himself inside the Vision's body and attacks the Avengers with the Vision's body, which is more powerful than his form, and it was really good. It totally warped Avengers history.
Does Ultron make any moves on Scarlet Witch?
Yeah. Him and Scarlet Witch get married.
Wow.
And Quicksilver doesn't like it, and it drives him mad.
He married his son's wife. Oof. Think about that.
Yeah, because so with Wonder Man around, Wanda falls in love with him, and they get married. And Quicksilver drives him. His jealousy of Wonder Man drives him crazy. He goes back to villainy. He actually becomes the Grim Reaper.
Who's also the brother in that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wild one.
Can I throw out a crazy theory to both of you?
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend about this the other day, and I hadn't considered this until I talked to my friend. Speaking of WandaVision, are you current, sir, on WandaVision?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's okay. Cool. All right.
So this might be spoilers, so if you're listening,
I don't think. No, this wouldn't be spoilers. It's completely speculation. Complete
if you're
speculation.
speculating on what I think you're speculating, it might be. So go ahead.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think so.
Well, my speculation is, what do you think the odds are we'll see Ultron in this thing?
I think he was already mentioned in episode 3.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to see Ultron, Grim Reaper, and Wonder Man in this thing.
You think they're going to introduce Grim Reaper and Wonder Man?
Oh yeah!
Wow.
I would not be surprised
Yep.
because
Wow.
I saw the Easter egg where in the Bewitched credits for the opening episode 2, Grim Reaper's helmet inside the floorboards of their house in the animated opening. It's like my friend caught that. My friend caught that while we were watching it. He's like, dude, that was the Grim Reaper's helmet. I was like, what? No way. And it's like I rewatched. It's like we rewound it later. I'm like, holy. I was like, that's a hell of an Easter egg.
Also, if you watch this last episode, her brooch, it looks like 3 witches, so it could be a Macbeth reference. Or if you look at a certain angle, it looks like the Grim Reaper. So
I think we're definitely going to get some version of Ultron because Ultron is Vision's dad, and then also Ultron has a connection to Wanda.
Right.
Yeah, killing Quicksilver.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
I
was mentioned. So
I wouldn't be surprised if Quicksilver shows up at some point either.
I think that's almost a given.
Yeah. Oh, which one though? Because I mean, both of them are under the Disney window now. So he's going to be creating multiverse of madness.
There's a weird theory I've heard out there because I can't remember the names. One of the sons becomes Speed.
Yes.
Yeah. I've heard a weird theory where somebody was like, they think Evans Peters is going to play the grown-up version of Speed.
Ooh, that would be a funny twist.
Which I think would be kind of a neat recasting for Evan Peters.
I agree.
Yeah.
It could work. It could absolutely.
Because they're going to rapid age like almost like soap opera style in the next few
years. Yeah, I think so.
I can tell you this. I recently interviewed somebody who was in the X-Men universe for this channel.
My wife texted me from the other room and said, Tommy is Speed. Speed's name is Tommy in all caps.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ashley.
Billy is wicked. He has mom powers.
But the person I interviewed, the publicist had me cut 10 minutes out of the interview because that person revealed certain possibilities.
Golden Oldie?
Yeah.
Can you confirm it tonight?
I confirm it right there.
Whoa! Exclusive Golden Oldie in WandaVision.
Yeah, there it is.
I knew it, John.
Will be showing up in WandaVision. Absolutely no. But the person said that there were conversations and the possibilities. So that's all I'll say.
All right. Interesting.
All right, Justin. Anything else?
Yeah. I just last thing on the WandaVision was that I totally think that although Wanda is in control, I still think she's being manipulated by someone, and it's like it's like my guess. I would not be surprised if like the Mephisto theories are true. I
agree. I think it wouldn't surprise me if Mephisto has something to do with this, the whole thing.
Because because all this stuff about the subliminal, like why don't you have children for the children? It's like something wanted Wanda to have the twins.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they wanted her to have kids, and it's like all that out in the open. Yeah. That doesn't make sense that she would do that to herself.
I think it makes complete sense that it's all about Golden Oldie.
And definitely Agnes is like Agatha Harkness, and she's definitely more than she appears. So it's like she's definitely in on something.
Agreed. All right, thanks, Justin. Appreciate it, man. Good to see you.
Yep.
Much love. All right,
nice
Jason,
talking to you.
Can we keep you for 15 more minutes? Is that okay?
Man, I'm having fun. Let's do it.
Okay. We got a couple more Streamlabs that rolled through. Tushka says, who we just saw again, great show, fellas. The key to networking is the follow-up. Oh, thanks, Tushka. I schedule reminders to text or email a week or month after first contact. Note to self, Rocha is a man and not a fan in 2021. Yes, goddammit. Sorry, Jason, for the bus marks on your back, brother. # email first. Yeah. I guess that was about the signing or whatever.
Oh, yeah. It's all good. Look, we fulfilled 800 Kickstarter packages.
Wow.
And to be honest with you, we were bound to miss one, and I'm sorry that it was yours.
Right. And he'll make it up to you. So that's
I'll send you lots of stuff. Like, give me your address. I'll make up for it. Don't worry.
There you go. Reach out to him. You know what? You just said, Tushka, the key is follow up. So follow up. All right. Jackson Burns says, take my money, John. I'm just curious. Are you all fans of anime? My favorites are My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, and Cowboy Bebop. Do you all have any favorites? Also, did you all like Justice League Apocalypse War? Jason.
I was not a huge fan of Justice League Apocalypse War. But I wasn't a big fan of any of the like kind of New 52 DC animated stuff they were doing. I like the more classic. I like it when they're adapting the stories. Those are my favorite ones. I'm very anime light. Like I've seen a lot of I've seen Ghost in the Shell. I've seen Akira. Like I don't dip into the anime pool too much. As far as I get is usually a Miyazaki movie. That's as far into anime as I get. I love all the Miyazaki movies. I love Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah. I'm with Jason on that. I mean, Akira, as Emma likes to correct my pronunciation of it, Ghost in the Shell and Ghost in the Shell Innocence, which no one talks about, and that's one of my favorite
I've never seen
animes.
Is that the sequel?
It's the sequel.
Okay.
And it follows Batu, not the major. It follows her partner from the first film and what he's going through. And it's even more noir and more epic in its approach. And I love it to pieces. But the deal is this. I would like to get into anime, but I don't know. There's a piece of me is like, I'm going to get ridiculed for talking about it. Like, what's the old man got to say about anime? But I'm still young at heart, and I love that shit.
Dude, ask Jackson Burns here for some good recommendations.
Yeah,
man.
Jackson, send me some
Don't
stuff.
worry about it. People would say the same thing about you showing that Ronin comic book, and screw those people.
Yeah, there you go. Very good point.
Like what you want to like.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, that's rowing machines, apparently, in Golden Orbit.
You know what? Let it go. Let it go. God damn it. Let's see what else we got here. Scott Welsh says, question for both. What are some of your favorite B-side / less mentioned Beatles songs?
Ooh.
Jason.
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh, Jace, hold on. Let me see if we can get a list. B-side Beatles songs. All right. Thank you, girl. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I don't know if I have some what I think are like underappreciated Beatles songs.
Those. Yeah.
I don't know if they're B-sides.
Okay.
I love "Don't Bother Me."
Oh, that's a great one.
I think that's a really good one.
Don't bother me.
It's a George song. I love that one. I love "Taxman."
Oh yeah, that's all you.
God, what is some other B-side? Do you have a list?
Yeah, I've got a list here. Let's see. Ask Me Why. Ask Me Why.
Oh yeah.
Baby, You're a Rich Man. Come Together was a B-side, which is shocking.
Interesting. Okay.
Don't Let Me Down was a B-side, and that's an awesome song.
It's a good one.
I Saw Her Standing There.
That is one of the Beatles' best songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Down. I love I'm Down.
I'm Down is pretty good.
I'm Happy Just to Dance with You. Great.
That's
B-side.
a good one.
Let's see here. P.S. I Love You. Great song.
That is a really good song.
Yep.
That is a really good song.
Nobody's Child. I don't know that one too much. Old Brown Shoe. Rain.
I don't know if it's a B-side, but She's Leaving Home, I think, is a really good, underappreciated Beatles gem.
That's a heartbreaking fucking song. Revolution. She's a Woman.
Revolution was a B-side?
Yeah, Revolution was a B-side.
Wow. I mean, that just goes to show, like, see, like, I mean, I think you're the same in this. Like, when I listened to the Beatles, B-sides weren't a thing.
Yeah.
Like, you had one side of the cassette and the other side of the cassette.
Yeah. 1,000% true. There's maybe 5 Beatles songs that I don't necessarily listen to a lot. But all the other ones are stellar. Absolutely stellar.
I mean, the reason why the Beatles are like number one for me, and they always will be, is that because at no point in my life have I gotten tired of the Beatles.
Agreed.
Like, there will be points where I won't listen to them.
Right.
But like, if somebody were to be like, let's listen to the Beatles, I'd be like, yeah, put it on.
Yeah. 1,000%. I mean, my girlfriend and I, when we went to London in 2019, I made sure, I was like, we have to go to Liverpool. A, because I want to see Liverpool play, just my team. But B, because we have to do the Magical Mystery Tour. And
that's so cool.
We got it, and it was and it was raining too. So it was perfect England weather for a tour of
Abbey Road was the first place I went in London.
Oh yeah.
It was like one of my favorite spots. Gavin Min said anything that Ringo wrote. I don't know the name of the song, but one of my favorite Ringo songs is the "They're Gonna Put Me in the Movies."
Oh yes.
I don't know what the name of that song is, but "You're Gonna Put Me in the Movies." Yeah.
That's a Buck Owens song.
Yeah,
it's a remake of a Buck
Ringo
Owens.
Have you seen Ringo in concert?
No, not yet. No.
So the same year I saw Paul, we went and saw Ringo at the Hollywood Bowl in his All-Star band.
Yeah.
And Ringo does a tight 2 hours.
Yes.
Like, he does not do encores. He goes home and sleeps. But it's so cool because, like, you get Ringo songs, and then you get, like, all the other people in the band are stellar names. Like we had some guy from Santana, but the other person that he had was Colin Hay.
Oh, really?
So you'd hear, like they sang Men at Work songs, and Ringo would come out and sing Men at Work songs with Colin Hay. So you were like, this is like, I get to see Ringo, but then like, what is happening?
That is beautifully random. Beautifully random. By the way, Colin Hay, one of the best songs in that Garden State soundtrack.
Yep.
You guys got to listen to that soundtrack if you haven't.
It's a great soundtrack.
Level 2 trading here, bragging because he's a Manchester United fan. He said, "Did Manchester United beat you on that day too?" No, we beat Wigan, I think 5-0, 5-0. Look, I'm glad you guys are good again. It's been a fucking decade. Thanks for catching up, but it's good to see Man U's good again in 2021. But it's been 10 years, so congratulations, I guess.
Oh, you monarchists!
I know. All right. Well, we gotta wrap up here. We got to 175, so sadly we didn't cross the 200. So close. Unless someone sends $25 in the next 5 to 10 minutes as we're wrapping up here, we won't get the other two stories. But I'd love to hear them. So please, if someone wants to throw in Streamlab $25, we'll get those stories. But I do, before I let you go, man, I got to ask you about Justice League. I put it in the title. Zack Snyder, this is coming. Are you sick of it? Are you exhausted? Are you excited? Are you like, can we just get this already, or so we can move past it? Or does a little piece of you have seen the trailers and hearing that he wants to turn it into a 4-hour movie? Are you at least curious?
Look, I wouldn't be a DC fan and have a pulse if the trailers didn't excite me a little bit. Okay. Like I do think those trailers look cool because whatever you say about Zack Snyder, he shoots beautiful movies.
Yes, he does.
They look stellar. The cinema, no movie, and I like Marvel movies. No movie in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe is as well shot as Man of Steel. Man of Steel is like a piece of movie and art, and so is Batman v Superman. Like, I'm not talking about the story. I am literally just talking about cinematography. So seeing those trailers with the music looks great.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it. So HBO Max won. I think a lot of people are going to watch it. So HBO Max wins. I just don't think there's anything Zack Snyder can do to save that movie.
Yeah.
I don't care how much footage he puts into it. I don't care how many special effects he changes. I don't care how many scenes of Joker he wants to put in there to be like, look, I got Joker in it. Everybody likes Joker, right? Joker's $1 billion movie, right? Joker. Yeah. I just don't think you're fixing that movie. I don't. I think the movie's just broken out the gate, and we're putting a lot of Scotch tape and painting over the Scotch tape.
I wonder too, Jason, because he said he's not going to use one frame of Joss Whedon's footage.
Yeah.
It's going to be all his stuff. So you imagine there's been stuff there, but already bringing all these people back, Ben Affleck. And we haven't heard of Cavill coming back.
Who, by the way, are not going to look the way they looked 4 years ago.
That's true. That's a very good point.
You want to talk about because you could tell. In the other version, you were like, oh, that's Joss Whedon. This one's going to be even more. Like, you're going to be like, oh, that's the stuff they shot during the pandemic. That's the old stuff. That's pandemic. That's the old stuff.
Right.
Ben Affleck looks completely post rehab. Looks completely different, dude.
Yeah. And he just went through another breakup with Ana de Armas.
Yeah.
Sadly, they broke up. I mean, I think it was destined to break. She's 15 years younger than him. That's you hit the wall there.
Yeah. I don't know. At this point, I'm going to watch it just because I'm curious.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited because, look, this is a rarity. And I know all these people going nuts on the social media and in our pundit sphere about this is a bad message to send. No, it isn't. This is a unique case. And it was a lot of things had to happen for this to even remotely come close. Even Zack Snyder admitted, he said, I don't think we were going to get it for 20 years. I
thought we were going to get it like the Richard Donner cut.
Yeah,
I thought 20 years from now they were going to release like a 4K Blu-ray, and there was the Zack Snyder.
Exactly. Yeah. That was what I think a lot of people thought was going to happen. It happened. So this is a unique situation, and he's doing it his way. I mean, why not? Everybody's criticizing him. If you got a chance to do things your way, and they were giving you millions of dollars, you'd be like, "Fuck it, I'm going to do it my way." So all these people coming after him, it just drives me nuts because I'm like, look. He's just doing what he wants to do. And he admitted the other day, he said, I think it was one of the interviews. He said, I walked away from this because there was so much pressure. I didn't want to fight for the movie. My daughter had just killed herself. I needed time.
I mean, that's the other thing too about it is like, and there's all these people like conspiracy theories and whatever, and I always come down to it where I'm like, man, like you try to give one flying, we cursed it.
Yeah, of course.
You try to give one flying fuck about a Superman movie when your child has passed away.
Has taken her own life. Yeah.
Like, good luck. I don't care how much you love Superman, and I love Superman a lot. Like, I would be like, I'm out. I gotta deal with my family.
Yeah. And you don't know how that affects you.
Yeah.
For people who've never been through loss or people who have been through loss, you understand. You have no idea how that's going to affect you. Imagine being on a set. Imagine being on a set where people are angry about
doing like 16-hour days.
Yeah, doing 16-hour days and feeling the pressure of the studio saying, "Don't you make this dark, and you better get this under 2 hours."
Oh yeah, like every movie, especially in Warner, and we've seen Warner Brothers do this a lot. They did it with Suicide Squad. Warner Brothers like leans on their directors. Any movie that they have a budget over $100 million, Warner Brothers is like, you better not fuck it up. You better not fuck it up. You better not fuck it. They're like, I have a feeling they have an assistant write that email every day where like Zack Snyder's like, okay, open the emails. Oh, I better not fuck it up. All right, what about Tuesday? You still better not fuck it up. Like, and he just like, Jesus Christ. Like, it's bad enough I got to deal with the mustache. Please stop emailing executives.
I think secretly Patty must have gotten that one for the sequel too.
I have a feeling she did too. It's weird. Marvel is just lucky because Kevin Feige is able to keep all the Disney people out of the way because he made $1 billion before Disney bought. Avengers 1 made $1 billion the same week that Disney bought, or the same month. I can't remember the timeline. They were already $1 billion machine.
Yep.
So Disney was fine enough to be like, we're hands off, but like nothing like that has happened at DC. So like all these executives are like constantly like, you know, they're poking and prodding.
Yep, and there's all the drama behind the scenes with what happened with Jeff Johns possibly, and with what Ray Fisher's talking about. He's talking about. So there's so much drama behind this. You have none of that with Marvel. None of that drama.
No, I mean,
like he's just on point.
Well, I will say, and John, you know some of this as well. There are some behind the scenes drama behind certain Marvel movies. Disney just does a better job of keeping it quiet.
Yeah.
I actually think Disney has so much money that they're like the mob and they just pay people off. I think they're just like, there you go. Yeah.
The mouse is no joke. You don't fuck with the mouse. The mouse will silence.
Whereas I think Warner Brothers is like, you try it. And then Ray Fisher's like, okay.
Give me that. All right, Jason, as we were talking, we blew past the goal. So let me read these and then you can do the story, my man. Both stories. Alan Smithy, thank you. Donated $25. Tell us some Doctor Who stories, please. Gavin Min says, I really want to hear these stories. Thank you for joining us this evening, Jason.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well, it's been a lot of fun.
And Ronan on Chain says, I hope this helps. Salud. And then even Haskell 420, who rarely donates at high amounts on my streams, he threw in. He said, hey, guys, and WB Jason, I don't know if Ultron will be in WandaVision, but I hope he comes back in the MCU. Yes, they killed all traces on the net and every robot version, but in my opinion, he had to store himself on some hard drive somewhere.
And that hard drive is Vision.
Is Vision. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Although I know that like the Vision we might be seeing is a weird version, but that's where I think a form of Ultron's code is still in Vision somehow.
Watch that scene again at the end of Ultron between Vision and Ultron, and Vision has such sympathy for Ultron, because
he's his dad.
Yeah, exactly. So there's something there for sure. Thank you, Haskell. You're a boss, brother, for sending in that. All right, Jason, we blew past the goals. Let's hear these two stories, and then we'll get you out of here, my man.
Okay,
Thank you
so
much.
The short one is the nicest person that I met in the Arrowverse, and I will say that David Ramsey, who plays Diggle, is lovely.
I've heard that.
Very lovely. Cress Williams, who plays Black Lightning, is also lovely. This will tie back to Star Trek. When I first met him, I went up to him and I said, I was like, hello, I was like, I've been a big fan of you since you played the first Jemadar ever on Deep Space Nine. And he just looked at me and was like, damn, that's a deep cut, because he is on Deep Space Nine. He's the first Jemadar you ever see, awesome. And he's buried in makeup. But when they cast him as Black Lightning, I was like, oh my god, you're the first Jemadar. The nicest person, in my opinion, is Arthur Darvill, Rip Hunter.
Wow.
So I met him.
He's British though, isn't he? Right?
Yes, he is. Yeah, and he's only in the first 3 seasons. But
right.
I met him at the CW party, like the second year I was working for DC, and I could tell like he was tired and he was like whatever, and we were like we really wanted to meet him. And so like he was walking out of the elevator and I caught him. I was like, hey, you want to talk? And he was like very lovely. And he told us stories about his cat and how much he missed this cat because he was in Vancouver all the time. And his cat was in London and stuff like that. And then weirdly, that Comic-Con, we kept running into him. Every time he'd be like, oh, and I was always with Ashley. He'd be like, hello, Ashley. Hello, Jason. Hello. You know, and it was so funny because we'd see him over the course of the days get more and more tired. And so like by the time we saw him on Saturday, he was just like, oh, he's like, I'm trying to stay energized talking to these fans. But like, he's like, I think I've maybe had 2 hours of sleep the entire 4 days, you know? And so he was nothing but lovely. It was, one of the times we came across him, we were with another friend of ours who was Stacy, and she's a big Doctor Who fan, and she was like dying, and she was like so like, oh my god, I can't talk to him, and we literally were just like, hey, meet Arthur, Stacy, and he was like, oh, hello, Stacy, would you like a picture? Let's, you know, consummate gentleman.
That's awesome,
Arthur Darville. But the real gentleman is the Doctor.
All right. Before he tells the story, as he's telling the story, ladies and gentlemen, we are 12 likes away from 150 likes on this video. So please, if you hadn't hit that thumbs up button, please hit that thumbs up button as Jason is telling the story. Thank you, Jason. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. So I can't remember what year it was, but it was the year. It was also another San Diego Comic-Con story.
Yeah.
There was the year that they announced Doctor Who for Lego Dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
And Doctor Who was going to be in it. And so they did this big kind of like quiet press event thing. And Stephen Moffat was there and Jenna Coleman was there. And the actress I forget her name, who's amazing, plays Missy, was there. And then Peter Capaldi was there. Yeah. And they handed Peter Capaldi a controller and they said, play Lego Dimensions, play as yourself. And so he played as himself, and he accidentally like made it to where the Doctor could hop on a Dalek and drive the Dalek around. Now, this was before season 9 where he does that. And when he's playing it, when he figures this out, he turns to Stephen and goes, oh my god, Stephen, can we do it? You know, that's terrible Scottish.
That's good. I like it.
And I kind of think that's the reason why. So after that, they did this thing where you had to have a bracelet, and then you could go up and meet Peter Capaldi. He would give you some time. And I didn't have a bracelet, but luckily one of our producers did, and he gave it to me because, I was like, oh my god, I've never met I'm a big classic Doctor Who fan. I've loved Tom Baker forever. Peter Capaldi became my favorite Doctor after this meeting. Me too. So he was like, I'm going to give it to you because and I was at the very end, and it was so funny. At the same time, we had to go shoot some promos for DC All Access. Like we were meeting some other people, and the producer kept being like, Jason, we got to go. We got to go back to the Comic-Con booth. We got to go back to the Comic-Con booth. And I literally turned to my producer. This is my year 2 of DC All Access. And I said, I have never met a Doctor before. And I was like, I am not moving out of this line. You can fire me on the spot. I am going to meet Doctor Who. And so I get in the line. I am the last person in the line. Wow. And when I get up there, Peter is very nice and he introduces himself. And I'm wearing, it's always my Twitter banner, and it's always going to be my Twitter banner. It's my Facebook banner. It's not right now because the Kickstarter, obviously. But I asked him, I was like, oh, can we do the pose that you do? I call it the Pertwee, the John Pertwee. And he looks at me and he goes, he's like, I never thought to call it that before. He's like, I'm going to steal that. And so we do the pose because everybody else had been doing like the awkward shoulder hands and stuff like that. And then he starts asking me about my shirt. And like, he was like, oh, are you a fan of Captain Marvel? He's like, that's Captain Marvel Jr. And we start like talking about Shazam and talking about comic books, and literally a 15-minute conversation. Wow. About Shazam and Captain Marvel. And he knows his stuff. He knows all of it. He knows Superman stuff. And he starts asking me about my job at DC All Access and doing all these things like this. And he's lovely. He's amazing. Wow. And out of the corner of my eye, I spot his handler.
Yeah.
And his handler's like trying to be like,
yeah.
Wrap it up, Peter. Peter, wrap it up. And he catches this very nice assistant. I'm sure she, just doing her job. Whenever.
It's a tough job. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I know it's a tough job. And he keeps like waving her off. And he waves her off and goes back. And so he's like, the Superman issue, let's talk about this. And like, it is like 25 minutes at this point that he has just been chatting to me about comic books. We've literally just talked about comic books. And it's so funny. A friend of mine was just taking pictures of it. I have like 35 pictures of like, there's all these pictures of me and Capaldi being like, like talking back and forth, like you and I would do, stuff like that. Yeah. At one point, the assistant comes in and interrupts and like taps him on the shoulder, and I'm even like at the time I'm like, I've taken up too much of your time. Right. We don't have to do this. And he's like, we're good. Superman. And he just keeps going, and eventually, but again, like I talked to like Peter Capaldi for like 25 minutes about Superman and Captain Marvel. He was lovely. He's a super nerd. He is very nice and amazing, and it was amazing to me because I always feel like certain actors that play Superman, I like actors that play the Doctor, like it's nice to know that they're just as amazing as the character they play. And I'll tell you what, man, he lived up to the legend, and after that day, he became my favorite Doctor because at any point he could have been like, I'm fucking Doctor Who, move the hell out of my way. But he kept talking to me. And he kept just asking me questions about like comic books and all this stuff like that. And you're just like, that is the sign of an amazing person. So any people, if you don't like the 12th Doctor out there, that's fine. We all have doctors we love. We don't have doctors we hate. But I will tell you this. I generally think that Peter Capaldi might be the most genuine fan.
Wow.
And person that has ever played that role.
Well, he wrote, remember Stephen Moffat brought up that letter that he wrote at 11 years old, Capaldi did. Yeah.
Oh, here's a little cherry on top. So in this conversation, I was asking him, we got around to it, and I asked him, I was like, how was filming going? Because I knew they were filming Series 9. Yeah. And I remember he said, I'm currently like, when I go back to the hotel room, I'm terrible Scottish. He's like, I'm trying to remember the script. He's like, we've got this new script where I'm trapped in a castle and all I do is I talk to myself. And he's like, I keep being killed. And he's like, it's really difficult because he's like, I just talk the entire episode. And he's like, it's more lines than I've ever had, And, so 10 months later, I see that amazing episode. Is it Help? No, it's Heaven Sent, which I think is one of the best episodes of Doctor Who. And I was like, that's the fucking episode that he was talking about, that he was like literally memorizing in Comic-Con. So that is, again, like cherry on top, special connection. That is why that will always, in a couple months, once we get past Kickstarter, I will always have that banner of me and Peter Capaldi. That picture, like I got the full framed version of it. Like I printed it out. It's on my wall.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. I felt like I actually met the real Doctor.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a great gift, dude. What a great random gift to have. And that's why Comic-Con can be so great. You just never know what can happen and who's like, you're at that moment where they just feel a connection with you and then they just want to nerd out with you.
I honestly think if I had been wearing any other shirt but a Captain Marvel Jr. shirt, like that conversation might not have happened. But it was that shirt that made him be like, oh, look,
It's a great point. Sparked the conversation. I agree. He was my entry point into Doctor Who because Matt Smith and I tried. I couldn't get in. Capaldi's the one who got me in because he reminded me so much of the first Doctor. And then that episode, Heaven Sent, is where I think he became the Doctor.
Yes.
That moment. That episode is the moment.
Yeah. Oh, and I saw a comment, by the way. Somebody was like, did you get, this was not an interview. This was an off the cuff. This was not on film. I actually didn't get to interview. This was just two people like, hey, like he was at this press event and like just hung around to talk to people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's all. And I will still say for the record, Bill was the right companion for him. And I wish they had gone on for 2 more years because that Christmas episode, like I'll get emotional. I'm just right now, as I just said it, I triggered almost
Twice Upon a Time is fantastic.
I cry every time I watch
we watch that every Christmas. We watch that Husband's a River Song and Twice Upon a Time every Christmas.
Oh, Husband's a River Song is fucking great.
Yep, it's really good. No, and you want to talk about Capaldi. Capaldi is the only Doctor I feel is actually her husband. And I think it's because they're closer in age.
Yeah, that makes sense. Totally makes sense. And they're on HBO Max, ladies and gentlemen. The Eccleston one, all the way to all the Capaldi, they're all and
Whittaker.
Yeah, and Jodie Whittaker as well.
Yeah.
They're all on HBO Max. So if you haven't watched Doctor Who, you can start season 1 of the revamp with Christopher Eccleston. If you want, you can get the BritBox app that has all of them from the 60s on. If you really want to get nerd deep into
Go watch Logopolis.
There you go.
Yeah. The Tom Baker stuff, man.
I'm thinking about starting a Doctor Who podcast. Like I have time to make myself watch all the seasons from the beginning. You're
going to start from the beginning?
Yeah. And I don't know. I'm thinking about
boy. Good luck.
I know, dude. I know.
Good luck.
Earl had to do it for a Screen Junkies video, and he still has PTSD from having watched all those episodes. All right, Jason, you have been incredible. 2 hours and 45 minutes. Thank you so goddamn much for giving your time and entertaining us with so many great stories, dude. You're the best. I love seeing you. It's been too long.
This was a blast, man.
Thank you, dude.
This was a blast. It was so much fun. Yeah.
And the fans were great. They love you, man. Please tell everybody about the Kickstarter campaign as I show some pictures of the art here and what you have going on with this Super Best Friend.
Yeah, the Super Best Friend. It's on Kickstarter right now. It's all over my Twitter, or you can go to superbestfriendcomic.com. It is a 48-page single-issue story about the best friend of the world's greatest superhero who live streams his secret identity to the world, and he suddenly has to fix the problem. It is my love of the Silver Age mixed with modern fandom and modern comics. So I've always had for years, people are always like, what would be your Superman story? Well, this is it. This is my super. Oh, look at this cover right here. This is the Comic Girl cover. It's a dialogue cover that I specifically wanted to do, and I just love it. It's talk about Silver Age. We're already funded, so if you come and fund the campaign, it's basically a pre-order. So I hope if you thought I was entertaining or you thought anything I said tonight was interesting, go check it out. Take a look. You'll probably like it. And you know the book is going to be made now because the campaign funded. So
exactly. And if you want to donate to the campaign or be involved in all this, the description and the link is in this description. All of that is there in the description for this episode.
Yeah. And then otherwise, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jawin, JWIIN. It's down there below. And then Geek History Lesson is the podcast I do every week with Ashley Victoria Robinson. This week we did Vision. Next week is Scarlet Witch. So if you want to learn, we basically do geek history lessons. So if any of that sounds interesting, come on over. John's been a guest before.
Yes,
more than once, I think.
I'd love to come back down the road.
We wanted to bring you. We had a plan.
Really?
Pre-COVID, we had a plan to bring you back as Logan Wolverine.
Because I was heartbroken that
we were going to do it on the Doctor Strange episode, but like we wanted to have people in the home because it just works, and that didn't work.
That's true. Understood. So. Well, when this whole thing lifts, I love working with you two, and so I'd love to do it again for sure. And I got to get Ashley on the show just to sit down and have fun conversations with her too. So, all right, Jason, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Please, ladies and gentlemen, follow him everywhere on social media. Follow his work. Keep tabs on the stuff. He's going to have announcements, I'm sure, about the other project he's been working on.
Oh, believe me, I'm not going to stop tweeting about it once it happens.
There you go. So
I've been wanting to talk about it for a year and a half.
Hopefully you'll come back again and talk about that once it gets released down the road.
I don't know. CBS might not like that. We'll see. When I can, I will.
Maybe a year from now when you be okay with it, maybe. But yeah, other than that, though, go to his Kickstarter for Super Best Friend. Looks fantastic. I can't wait,
man.
I'm sure going to sign up for it so I can get a copy of it for sure. But
again, this was an absolute blast on all the fans and everybody we had online. It was great. This was a really fun, and I think we all learned something very important. How Golden Oldie is the best comic book character of all time.
Damn right. Hey, is the thing. All right, Jason, we'll let you go, brother. I got to do some business here with the fans. Have a great rest
of the night. Man. Have a good night and good luck rowing that river.
Thank you, man.
All right. Bye, dude.
Peace. All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Such a fun time we spent with Jason Inman tonight. Thank you all so much. You guys are the best. You guys are just the absolute best. You guys always make the guests feel warm and welcome and you guys are into all the stuff that they do, which just means the world to me, please tweet at Jason how much you liked him being on the show. You know, all the guests, they find a moment to tell me how great, how much they love the Outlaw Nation fans, the Outlaw Nation community, how positive it is, and how they feel truly appreciated, loved when they come on the show. So please take your time or Instagram message him and let him know, and tag me in it if you want, but certainly tag the show or talk about the show and tell him how much you enjoyed him being on the show and all the great stories he told us tonight. Thank you all for helping us pass that goal so that Jason could tell the story. I think this is the new thing we're going to be doing with the Outlaw Nation show is every guest I'll tell them ahead of time, hey, come up with, or do you have any stories? Do you have any fun stories? And then we'll tease them as goals to kind of motivate you all so that you get something for the contributions. More than just questions or comments or answers, you'll get a story or a few stories that you won't get anywhere else. So I think that's a great thing to do for the Outlaw Nation show. And you guys have been so brilliant at kind of guiding me towards that conclusion and that possibility. So thank you. All right. Don't forget tomorrow is a new episode of the Geek Buddies. Also dropping at 7 a.m. on Thursday morning is a new episode of The Jedi Way. The Impolite Truths will be at 6 p.m. on Thursday, 6 p.m., not 5 p.m. on Thursday. ESPN San Antonio has asked me to chime in on the Royal Rumble, so I will be a guest on their show on Thursday night. So if you want to listen to that, feel free. Also, don't forget Strong Style on Friday. Oh, and this Sunday, for those of you pro wrestling fans, we are doing a live watch along of the Royal Rumble. So you don't get to watch the Royal Rumble through us because then we get in so much trouble, but you get to listen to me and Aaron Turner, or watch Aaron Turner and I comment on everything we're watching. It's like you're sitting in with us in the basement of the house watching a wrestling pay-per-view with us. So we're doing that this Sunday for sure. And don't forget, Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, I think, is the premiere of the first episode on the Outlaw Nation show. They've been going for a while on their own channel, but it's the first episode on the Outlaw Nation show of the Ultimate Schmodown show. And remember, this will be the morning after, or the afternoon after, all the free agency, the draft stuff has happened for the Schmodown on Friday. So they're going to have fresh takes, fresh reactions to what these factions look like. And Friday night's going to be insane, ladies and gentlemen, just absolutely insane. So get ready for that. Don't forget, if you're a sports fan, sports Game Time was out yesterday. I'll put the audio for that podcast up tonight and for that show tonight. And then this audio will go up tomorrow sometime in the afternoon or evening as well. All right. I think that's everything. Oh, and our WandaVision recap show as well. We'll be doing that or dropping it later on Saturday as well. All right. That's it. Much love to you guys. Take care of yourselves. Be well. Wear your mask. Practice social distancing. And remember, I'm going to end the show like I end every show. Please, whatever you need to do to get through the next second, next minute, next hour, next day, next week, next month, next year, I'd like you to do that. I've loved having you around. We've crossed 15,000 subscribers. We're building this thing slowly but surely, and you all are a big reason why. So please hang out with us, stay around with us, see where we can go, be a part of the foundation for many years to come of the Outlaw Nation. All right? I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care of yourselves. Have a great night, and we'll be back next week with another brand new episode of the Outlaw Nation show. Much love to you until then. Peace.